Yes, we are back. The two of us together, anyway. Live stream didn't stop last week while I was not here. It was a great live stream and it was concise. It ran about 2 hours instead of three. But before we get to that, welcome everybody. Welcome to Tainted to Think Outside the Blocks. This is your weekly official Brick World live stream where we talk to you about thinking outside of the perceived rigidity of the Lego medium and also talk to you about thinking outside your mental blocks when you are creating your own Lego creations. I am one of your hosts, Mark Larson, Chief Brick Officer of Brick World. And this is, of course, your other host, Ben Hauger. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm here. I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah, I was
turned
about
into a
to. I was
circle
about
while
to
I was talking.
say, who
Yeah,
who is the regular host now at this point? Is it me or you?
I think both of us.
Okay.
I think it's always kind of like an equal
Okay.
opportunity hosting thing.
Okay.
I tend to, when I leave town, I'm gone on Sunday every time. So
Well, it's official Brick World business usually, so I can't
yeah,
hold it against you,
yeah,
right?
I know.
Or
I try
you're in
against myself.
Italy, I guess. But
Well, in Fort Wayne, I was like, we got back and we got back to the Bonahum's house and it was probably 7 p.m. Central, and I was like, I could go get on the live stream. But also, I was like, we just did a show. I was tired, and then we were hanging out together. Um, hey, it's me, Buttland Man. I'm no longer a grammar jerk. Also, possibly. Um, so for one thing, I didn't join the live stream. I decided to like socialize with my staff and kind of like decompress from the show. It was a good choice for me at the time.
absolutely.
Um, so Ben and I just got off of a call for our Eurobricks collaborative build for 2024. And did you notice I was a little grammar correcty? Like I don't like when people use the word pathing because it's not a word. It is a word, but not the way that they're using it. But my big thing, and I'll never let this go, is like when people mispronounce other people's names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've learned my lesson here, and that I shouldn't like shame people for like using incorrect grammar. But I think if someone's mispronouncing someone's name, like we want to say Realgar, and we ask him, "How do you pronounce this?"
We
The
want
SS
to.
Realgar has docked. Check him out; he's
Yes.
here. We had a couple comments before the stream started. I think this was one of them. And Rob Claxton is also here, of course. He says, "Hey, everyone." But I think I would die on that hill of making sure that people are pronouncing other people's names correctly.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Because we also have Jesse from Jesse's Brick Galaxy, who guest host last week here.
Yeah, he was a co-host last week. That's right.
When I
Love
pop
Jesse.
into Friday Night Bricks and I troll them,
Okay.
I hear all kinds of names instead of Cerberus. I hear Cerebrus, Cerberius. Hear all kinds of things, and it doesn't
Okay, sir.
bother me because it's not my real name.
Exactly.
Um, but I have experienced that where I get to be all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah.
I should probably change my name there. C is for Cerberus is still true, but this week
Mhm.
we're going to be brought to you by the letter R.
Yeah.
So we'll come up with a new title, sometime during the stream for what R might stand for today.
Same for me. And Realgar, it's his night because it's letter R tonight. Hey, look, these bricks is here. He says, "Good evening, everyone." Good evening, sir. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Um, how was Brick World Fort Wayne Buttland Man? So let's just like run through the process of this. He said, Realgar said, "How was Brick World Fort Wayne, Mark?" And then he said, "Sorry, how was Brick World Fort Wayne Buttland Man?" Well, we had about 1,300 more people show up to the show this year. So from a
Good.
business perspective, it was great. We're having some growth there. They also talked to us about some future partnerships, which are great. When a sales manager from a venue is talking to us about building a relationship in that way, that's always a good sign. So while it's lower than some of our other shows attendance on average, um, it's a good market for us, and we have a good relationship with the venue there. So I'm really excited about continuing with Fort Wayne. A lot of really good energy there this year, like a lot of really great new stuff happening. Fort Lug is a really fun lug that is continuing to bring new stuff every year that they participate in the show. Like, I feel like my mind is already shooting off in way too many different directions.
You need
Like,
to
there's
be
a lot I
focused
want to talk
today.
about.
I
Yeah,
this
kind of.
this I
It's
this I
my first
can't pass
time.
up though, Mark.
Yeah, what's up? Eco Buns, baby, and company.
Good old Echo Buns.
Yeah, well,
Um, we've also got this. They're assuming that R means we're going for a pirate theme. So let me
that'll be
ask you, this is a classic dad joke. What is a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
Yes. A pirate loves the R, but its first love is the sea. There you go.
Well,
So,
thank you. I keep
yes, you
turning into
needed
a
that.
circle.
You
I keep
needed that.
turning into a circle on my own screen. Am I lagging for anyone?
Just a touch. It's not too bad.
Great. I
Usually you just have to wait half a second and you come back, so no big deal. Your picture's fine, it's your
you
audio.
notice that I dropped out of the Eurobricks call is
I
because
did.
everything I was starting to close programs to make sure that I was ready for this because I was going to restart before we started. And the entire thing froze. I was doing some video editing, so I was just like, and that's not uncommon. Um, so I was glad I did that because I was worried about where it would be at. But it looks like even restarting and not having any other program open is still causing me to lag a bit. Oh boy, being an influencer is hard. So Ben,
Hard.
before we get to anything else tonight,
Yeah.
I one of the interesting things that I feel we talked about during the Eurobex call was I wish it was an R word, but I can't come up with a synonym for this word. All I can come up with was notoriety because there's two R's in it. There's one R in it. Notoriety. Yeah, I guess there's one R, but it's it's a significant R. Notoriety. R for R
Righty.
for R night. Um, when we talked about the possibility of our display being put into two different categories, nobody seemed to care. They actually kind of like fought back on the fact that I even brought it up, and I love that. Like, I really, really love it. I think to quote
Well,
our leader. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, part of this is this idea that last year, if anyone missed it, there was a enormous build. It was, I think, in some sense of the word, more than a group collab because there were, 70 people. This was more like an event.
Yeah,
But that didn't really affect me at all because to me, if we're pushing people to do 70-person collabs and create something like that,
right.
all the better. Just do it. I
Sure.
don't care if it's in a different category from
Yeah.
your traditional, 15 to 20 person collaborative display. I
Hmm.
don't know that someone else will manage to get another 70 people to come.
No kidding.
But if they do, hey, they deserve it. Go for it.
Yeah.
And that was my feeling, and I think that's kind of what everyone else thought too. Is like, well, we don't need to win to do what we want to do.
I mean, at the
So
same time, we do hold the R for record for winning the
we do.
most collaborative displays in R for row. Um, and it was nice to see that like nobody really cared that we didn't extend that lead. They were just like, this idea is very much part of the DNA, maybe the RNA,
Hmm.
maybe not,
No,
um,
no.
of Eurobricks. And so we're going to go ahead with this concept because it means a lot to us and we're going to have fun with it. And it's our sense of humor. It's our this, it's our that. And, and nobody seemed to really care if we
Right?
got
Hey,
in any category.
streaks are made to end. Records are made to be broken.
Yeah.
Um,
Records
records
are for records,
are
right?
for records.
I'm looking for a
Um,
video of our display from this year, just to show people kind of what we're talking about with the passion that we put into it. And I mean, there was just obviously there was something better there. There was something that was much more appealing to everyone. And I've taken a lot of pictures since Brick World Chicago. I'm
yeah.
scrolling through thousands of pictures from Italy, but I've already sent us way off track. I remember the last time I was on this live stream, this little show.
Uh-huh.
I was like, let's get right to the meat. let's not ramble a bunch. Let's not R for ramble a bunch at the beginning. But since tonight's episode is brought to you by the letter R, I figure we can do some rambling.
Can ramble.
Let me see if I can find this video.
And while you're doing that, I'll get through some of our chat here. Joellen points out a synonym for
Renown.
notoriety with R is renown.
Oh, thank you. I didn't have the time or the brain capacity to come up with it on my own. So renown. So we talked about renown first.
Yes. And I would also think R stands for react. If you like what you see, you can react by smashing the like button or subscribing.
Love that.
Yes. And then for some reason, this was the next piece of chat from Realgar. Some lettuce fell onto the keyboard. I don't know.
I think my favorite part from the call was when Crystal dropped something she was showing us. And Brian said, on my screen, it fell into Mark's it fell into Mark's screen. So Mark looked for what she dropped. And Philip said it fell into Emilio's screen on my screen. And Crystal said, on my screen, it fell into my coffee. Just my favorite moment of the entire call.
Poor Crystal.
How else are we doing with comments? Who else is talking out there?
Well, we've got most of our regulars.
Nice.
We also have some YOLO X.
R for regulars, right?
Regulars in our tainted chat.
Yeah, let's also say hey right now to the replay gang. R for replay gang. How you doing? Feel free to also smash that like button.
Add a comment
if you aren't. And yeah, go ahead, leave us some comments. We always do reply to them. Those comments from the replay gang. Dear Lord.
All like 4 we've gotten. But hey, I'm always ready for more. Yes, and YOLO points out what we already said. R for replays, yo. Indeed.
R for 4.
And we always discussed, where are we going to keep with the Sesame Street? This stream brought to you by a letter. Everyone really seemed to react positively to doing it. So, react.
Yeah,
we are not a react channel, though sometimes we will describe our reaction to the Lego news, but not quite the same as your normal react channel. We're a Lego first channel, encouraging building your own creations and bringing them to cool places like Brick World conventions if you manage to. But we like to celebrate the hobby anyway with everyone, and that includes talking about some things that aren't necessarily always just based on building your own creations. So we get to the Lego news as well, and we'll do some of that today too. As you might imagine, last week with Jesse, we didn't talk much Animal Crossing, and I have a feeling we'll get back to it today. What do you think?
You probably will.
Yeah,
it's one of our topics. I believe it's the roast topic.
Oh,
sorry about that.
That was interesting.
I've got the video ready if you're wanting to see it. Just back to the topic of renown.
Yes.
Let me pull this over to this screen since that seems to be what StreamYard wants to show of mine. All right. And hello. Yeah, there we go.
And this is cheating, but this was our collaborative display, right?
I accept that because we're not grammar jerks here.
Right. We're trying not to be.
Yeah. No, we don't need to be. So let me see. Let's add this to the stage, and it's still that. I'm trying to make it this.
Did you add a specific window instead of a screen? You can also do present video, but then I think it has to be its own file.
Right. So I'll do this. Present screen. Stop screen. Hey, look, it's us again.
Hey, there we are. This is what you get. This is what you pay for, everybody.
100% screen 1. No, not that, because it's us.
Yeah, you get super Inception when you do that. It's actually kind of creepy. So,
all right. So
there we go.
Here we go. This was our collaborative display from this year. It was our giant party barge. And there was a lot of stuff going on there. And this is something that we're really passionate about. We came in second place for best group display and we're lights, but to be honest, I'm trying to make sure everyone's happy. So my whole thing is like, was anyone affected by that? Like, did we, not winning best group layout another year in a row, is anyone sad? Or is anyone going to be demotivated by this? And I'm very happy to report that, like, when I checked in tonight about like the possibility of being on a different category or not necessarily, getting what we have gotten in the past, nobody seemed to really be more concerned about winning awards than they were about just wanting to follow through with the concept, which is a very easy concept. I mean, it's not one that's, as put on the call, it's not one that people are thinking is going to be one that's going to be right up there with the rest of the large group displays,
Oh, oh. Can you go back? Rewind here. Rewind.
Yeah,
Rewind.
of course.
Rewind. There you see a wild Rachel
Yep.
in the background there, and a little bit earlier was a wild Z Cerberus sighting. Right there.
Oh, look at
There
that.
he is.
And look, and if you pause it right here, you get the two of them
There you go.
in the same shot. Z's wife and Z Cerberus. All at the
Enjoying
same
the
time.
display at World of Lights.
Yeah, let me get this out of here. Remove from stage. That means I can
There
do
you
it
go.
again. Hey, look at me. I'm learning StreamYard. So, hey, we are 15 minutes in and I've been anything but concise, and that was my goal for the night. Already failed. R for failed.
Yep. Another Friday Night Bricks person visiting. Butt Chop saying hello to
Butt
everyone.
Chop is here. Has Butt Chop been here before?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Butt Chop, welcome. I've been on several streams with Butt Chop, but at least I don't remember him being part of ours. But this is episode 23, so I do have 23 episodes I could easily forget. I'm not like I was on all of those. R for Butt Chop.
Yeah, Butt Chop says he's been here before, but
I thought he might have been okay.
I don't recall any comments from Butt Chop. But welcome, Butt.
Realgar, I certainly am.
Butt Chop, Butt Land. It's all good.
So I like this one from Yellow X. Rest afterwards. So my entire week has been about sleeping in, inadvertently. Like I'm not one to ignore the alarm clock, but I made a new skill out of it this week. I slept a lot. I did not get a break between Grand Rapids and Fort Wayne. I usually at least take a day to sleep, and I did not do that between Grand Rapids and Fort Wayne. So unfortunately, between Fort Wayne and Detroit, which is not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, I slept for about an entire week. I got a lot done, don't get me wrong, but I slept like 8 to 10 hours a night all week.
Like a baby.
Like a baby. R for like a baby.
Like a baby. R for like a baby. Okay, why not? Well, let's talk about what's going to be on the show then.
Okay, but can I hit this real quick?
Yeah.
Just wondering what the euro means. So Ben and I met on Eurobricks, which
it's not
is
a dating site. I just want to be clear.
It's not.
No, but it is a place where you can meet Lego nerds.
It might be someday, right? I would say, and it might be
for some people. Some people wasn't for us.
Yeah, I think I know of at least two people who, two couples who met over Eurobricks.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah. Sure. R for it. It's nice. So it means like
R for relationship.
R for relationship. There we go. Mm-hmm. That makes more sense than what I said. Yeah. It means European bricks because the site started there and then it became renown. R for renown. Thank you, Joellen. For leaking stuff, and then they got in legal trouble with Lego, and they got their renown in the Lego community for standing up to the Lego group, which wasn't a healthy way to continue being part of the Lego community. And then more and more people got involved from other areas of the world, and I became one of the root admin. Ben, you're still a moderator there, are you?
Yeah, I mean, technically.
And so I think the thing that we do the most anymore, because I think discussion forums have kind of fallen out of style, is get together at Brick World every year and do a collaborative build. They still have the Eurobricks event every year where people get together and do one of the Legoland parks throughout the world. But yeah, it's basically a discussion forum. So like the future depends on us to be able to keep it going. And that's what the Euro means. Europe.
Europa, Europe. Okay, well, here's our show today. Whoop, gotta make sure I go out the right side. Letter R. So here's our R's. Radical Designs, Regerts,
Over there.
Roasted, Are You Blank? And then we'll move to next show. So that's what the R's are for this week. Do we want to start with Radical Designs, or do we have some more nonsense to go through here?
I would say go through your radical design. I don't have my second camera here. I got to wait for Matt to get home so I can get out of the trunk.
Okay.
I did not do a lot of work this week, but I have completely R for redesigned the orchard. And so I've done a lot of pulling things apart and like reconfiguring R for reconfiguring. And so it'll be interesting to talk about for a couple minutes to kind of see what that process is like, because it's ugly. But yeah,
it's real. It might be ugly, but it's real.
Yeah. Do you want me to talk about sponsors while you set up your second camera?
Why don't you do it?
All right, I'm trying. Hold on. Apparently, I don't know how to solo myself. Hey, got it. Hey, look, everybody, it's me. It's Mark from Brickworld. Hey, what just happened?
I didn't do that. It to the stage. It did that. It's okay.
My hands weren't anywhere.
It's okay. I'll get it set up. All right, go ahead.
But R for Dots Pretzels, of course. These are our favorite snack to eat while building and or streaming, obviously. And seeing a lot more and more of these at our expos. I think enough of you are watching that you know that this is an obsession of ours. Oh, pardon me so much. that was could not help that one if I had tried. So I do apologize for burping in the middle of talking about our sponsor, Dots Pretzels, who's not an official sponsor, but we would welcome her in a heartbeat, even though she's owned by Hershey's now. Dot, how can you do that to us? But delicious. They're sensationally seasoned. So get yourself a bag of Dots Pretzels today as I turn into an R for circle because my internet, R for slow internet speed tonight. And then, of course, Dr. Zevia is always with us. R for Dr. Zevia. It's a 0-calorie, all-natural soda, no artificial ingredients, no, what are they called? Artificial sweeteners. I was going to say phenyl alkalites, but I'm getting that word right. R for phenyl alkalites. Hey, Ben, how you doing? Because I'm choking over here.
Yeah, you're taking this grammar thing a little too loosely. You're completely eviscerating all spelling as well, just saying R for whatever. At least last week when Jesse was feeding me the C for whatever, they were C words. So I mean that was something. But let's flip over to my
maybe
build.
Jesse's a better co-host than I am.
That's not what I said. I mean, you said it. I didn't know. So this is what I've been working on. I made a couple of small changes based on some of Jesse's feedback, but since this was fresh for you, I thought I'd like to get a little feedback on what you think of it as well.
I mean, I watched the live stream from last week, so
well, that's good. So then you have a little head start here.
R for head start.
Oh, Mark. Okay, so the big changes here. I did a couple things. So one of the things Jesse had mentioned is they usually double up pieces of rebar. I can't really do that without making the wall a lot thicker. But the other thing he mentioned was putting them in crosswise as well to add some more sort of realistic structural integrity.
R for realistic. Hey, I'm nailing it.
There you go. So I'm working on that, as well as maybe trying to add in a window frame or something as well. I think I definitely need more for realistic R for realistic window frame.
Yeah.
But at least now I'm kind of getting the impression that I'm going to be able to put in some sort of frame or something here to sort of add to the base.
Yeah.
But first question, R is for rounded.
Yeah.
What do you think of doing this as a rounded base?
I think it's good. Okay. Especially since he is so rounded. The one thing I have to ask in regards to your bases is the planet, the world you're imagining these mechs living in seems to be R for boring to me anyway.
Okay.
In my R for opinion. Sorry, I'll stop doing that immediately. Right now, R for right now. Hey, I nailed it.
R
Oh,
for right now. You got it.
Matt's home. We'll see if I can get my camera after this segment. So I would say, like, you're creating these vehicles, and I would just imagine them in a more transcendent world than what you're giving us. This is a heavy criticism, so I do apologize. I usually don't criticize quite this hard. If we look at some of the lost episodes, yeah, I made fun of some of your window frames. Yeah, I called up pareidolia whenever I could. But to me, I feel like you have an opportunity with all of these, and I know you want to highlight the mech itself. But I think like some of the exciting, like we made him Mr. Heavy Pants Mech when he was
Mhm.
Mr. Tiny Pants Mech.
Right.
And so I think one of the things that also might beef up your presence as a mech builder might be putting them in a more interesting landscape than just this kind of desert town. Because the last one I remember, the
Mhm.
arachnid one, R for arachnid. Damn it, I did it again. I said I wouldn't do it, but I did. Um, was kind of going down a street in a desert town, knocking over telephone poles, and now we're like going through what seems again like a desert town, crushing a post-apocalyptic building where the rebar is still sticking out of the cement. Um, so that just let that percolate. Um, I think it's fine how it is because the mech does stand out. But if there's one thing I was going to challenge you on, I could challenge you on, would be like maybe creating a more interesting atmosphere for him to live in, him or her, whoever's. I don't know why I'm gendering the mech. The other thing I would say is you have the jawline on there, like the mouth.
Oh yeah.
I like that. Um, Something that creeps me out about it a bit though, because it's like from the hips come the head.
Yep.
And so I'm just like, I'm not ready to see a mouth because it's not like a mech in that way. Like it's missing a torso for that. But I like the heavy pants feel of this. I like the backwards, like the chicken leg sort of, and the bull toe of all of this. But I feel like there's something off for me with the proportions of the head. I don't know if it's like weight towards the back, like if there wouldn't be some sort of counterweight like hanging off the back to make this R for realistic. But like the mouth throws me off, I guess. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's weird to have arms in front of your mouth. I understand that.
Correct. I mean, my arms
Um,
go in front of my mouth.
well, they don't. They don't. Your arms don't come from your upper lip, as far as I know, though.
No,
Just
they definitely
kind of what
don't.
this would be doing.
Like from your sinuses. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is maybe that's it. It's like a mustache arms happening.
Yeah.
Which I
I
mean,
mean, they're kind of hidden in there, but it's just one of those things where I had the sticker and I thought the sticker was sort of a fun little addition.
well, I don't think the
Um,
sticker caused the problem. I think the sticker is very cool. I think the sticker highlights the fact that his arms are coming out of his nose.
yeah, I mean, I guess that was kind of the design for this guy, though. I don't know.
Um, Realgar says a rounded appears more natural, so he likes the rounded base better than the square base. I agree with that as well. I mean, I think a lot of your castle bases are a little bit more organic than what you've shown us with what you're putting in the bases for the supersize my mech, the chunk up my mechs project you have going. Cornelia says instead of an apocalyptic town, why not a majestic ballroom for a swing dancing competition? Right? That's a great point, Gary. I 100% agree with you. I would love to see um, a majestic ballroom for swing dancing mechs. They have to have numbers on their back so they can be tapped on the shoulder and removed from the competition when the judges decide they aren't doing so well.
That makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, you need some turntables for those, so you have to put in so much work on your forearms there. Monica Berry says, "Go in front of your mouth, but don't grow in." Wait, what? Go in front of your mouth?
She's
Don't.
talking about your arms. They go in front of your mouth. They don't grow in front of your mouth.
I'm glad you got that because I'm still
Yes,
saying
okay.
it like what?
That's all right.
That's why Monica's your best friend and not mine.
Yep.
I still like Monica. That isn't. Yeah, mustache arms. Yeah,
Yep. That's what
yeah.
we're going with, mustache arms.
But I mean, there's also.
Well, I mean,
I,
I guess part of the intrigue here is I could continue with what I'm doing, and because I can simply take the mech off, I could build another base. That was a little more
mhm.
fantastical, as they may say.
But I would say like that's probably your last concern. So I didn't
Yeah,
really bring that up as my first concern, because once you're like, the point of this is to make sure the mech is where you like it. So let me ask you this then:
to make his pants bigger. That was the whole point, right?
bigger paint,
Increase his presence, right? Go from that to
yes,
that.
fancier taint.
Yep.
Those are the goals. Are you happy? Are you happy with the mech? Is this where you imagined it going when you were gonna chunk it up?
Yeah, I think he turned out kind of how I was envisioning. He kind of has like a bit of a Mega Man type feel, like a Mega Man robot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I kind of like that. He's a little more industrial than Mega Man robots, but the design's a little silly, but still kind of a combination of silly and industrial military. It's just kind of what I wanted for the little one,
The
but I think the
more
scale was a lot of change.
the more you
So
spin it around like that, like at this angle, I very much don't mind the mustache arms.
yeah, I mean that is the one thing about it is it is not a static piece. It's supposed to convey some sense of motion and movement, which is the other thing I've got to work on because the legs are still kind of flat here, like he's not walking.
Yeah,
So I want to work a little bit on that too.
and that's the
But
point of a mech is like it doesn't need to match the proportions of a human. It has its own.
yeah,
It's giving humans the ability to do something that their body can't do normally. They're wearing a suit that's giving them mechanical abilities, right? So, I mean, like the temple or like the sinus arms that are coming out of the sides there with the guns, they don't bother me, and that's not where people's arms come from either. I mean,
that's
we
true.
can say any arm you put on it without a torso is going to come out of a place that doesn't come out of on a human, and mechs don't need to look human, so I should probably just let that go.
That's true.
Hey, do you know what this um comment from Realgar means where he says GNCO mech?
I can't say that I do, but it sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's see what Google Pants says.
I could do that for you since you're busy showing your
Oh, you know what I bet it is?
stuff.
I wonder if they were thinking like the Junko jeans, the heavy pants, the with
Oh,
the
oh,
big
oh,
pockets.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes. He is very much whoever it is, very much Junko Jeans. Derby Bricks, who
Right.
I don't remember seeing here before. Uh, Derby says they only look like mustache arms because of the mall stickers. I think that enhances
Hmm.
it, but like I said, I think it's I mean, that's going to be the head because that's where like the pilot station is, and I think that was the first thing that made me feel really bothered about it because that is going to be like the face of the suit itself, and it has two legs, so you're just going to look up from the two legs and think that. But I think I think you're right, Derby, and that certainly enhances that feeling. But again, now I'm backtracking and saying that I don't think it's very much necessary for the arms to be coming from anywhere but the nose. Um, Monica Berry confirmed for us before Google did. So way to beat Google, Monica. The Junko jeans. Yes. A lot of people got to it before our Google machine could get us there. Uh, Derby Bricks. Oh, hey, how are you, Matt? Good to see you again. Wow. We just met Matt last weekend at Brick World Fort Wayne. Is that how it's pronounced? My small town school said Jinko. I don't know. I mean, like,
I don't know either.
what generation are you from? Because
Yeah.
I don't
I know what
use
they look
brands out
like,
loud with people anymore.
but honestly, when I saw JNCO, if he had written JUNCO, I would have known what he was talking about right away.
Yeah,
So it's
that's,
strange.
I like calling it Junko, even knowing that other people call it Jinko. I would call it Junko.
For
Just
other
like,
reasons.
yeah,
Roasted. R
I
is for roasted.
R is for roasted.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and look, you got your Dots homestyle pretzels there. Ben prefers the cinnamon sugar flavor.
Indeed. Yes.
All right, Ben,
Yes.
can you talk about this for a minute while I go see if I can get the camera out of the trunk because Matt is home?
Well, why not?
Well, I can't even find the
Let's,
keys of the car at the
here I
moment,
am. Let's
so
solo me on this thing here.
wish me luck.
We'll get back to heavy pants mech guy in a second. But for anyone who missed um, the discussion on this, we've discussed this mech several times. We took a break from it for a little while to discuss September, which was very stressful, I'll say, to do. Doesn't mean it wasn't fun. It doesn't mean it wasn't an accomplishment, but it definitely um, kind of shifts what you want to build. There's a certain amount of burnout that comes along with producing a large scale project with a time crunch. So I'm trying to take my time a little more with this one and use building on this particular guy for relaxation. R is for relaxation. So I'm trying to sort of pace myself a little and produce something that I like and not just something that's complete, right? So I think that's part of the attraction to doing Lego for a lot of people is that it can be relaxing. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? Realgar says, when you take out vowels, this is what happens. LOL. Yes, that's it's just like trying to interpret the license plates on cars. You're like, I have no idea what they want me to say their vanity plate says. Monica says, what generation is a great Q for me? I'm in between, so she's a zillennial maybe. Or the Oregon Trail micro generation. Yeah, we had Oregon Trail when I was a kid in school as well. I think Mark and I, though we're 5 years apart, we're probably both sort of in the in between as well. I think I'm technically speaking an old millennial, um, though maybe some people would say I'm a young Gen Xer born in 1981. So sort of in that same range. Elder millennial, also Oregon Trailed. So it looks like a lot of us are feeling like we're stuck between generations. YOLO X says, giving me great armor ideas for my Zoid. Thank you. Well, that's why we do the stream, right? Besides just being nutty and getting a chance to hang out, we do hope that, there's some inspiration as well on some of these things. And Monica says, ooh, vowels, don't rub it in. I'm studying hieroglyphs currently. I didn't know that. Hieroglyphs don't have vowels. I know they're pictures or symbols that are supposed to represent entire words, but are they also, representing sounds? There are different ways languages are structured, and I don't know enough about hieroglyphs to know, exactly what their base is there. But who knows? That could be a very derailing and topic for another time. So the other thing with Mr. Heavy Pants Mech, part of it was I did try to stick as much as I could to my original design, and this isn't based off anything, right? So it's not like the arms have to be coming out of the nose, but that's the way they were on the first one, and I liked the design, so that's the way they are on the second one.
It made you feel self-conscious about that.
No, it's fine. I kind of liked it on the littler one in particular. I kind of liked having these like kind of scraggly little arms that were kind of oversized. They're not quite as pronounced on the heavy pants mech.
Well, I feel like one of the
but
things
it
that you
doesn't bother
said,
me. So
one of the things you said about when you first started the project of chunking up your mechs is that you were looking for R for recognition. Like you felt like people were passing up your creations at Brick World because they were too small.
yeah, I think that's it. It's less so that the design isn't great. It's more so that it doesn't have presence, right? And I do think it has more presence in the bigger size for all kinds of reasons. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it so far.
However, before they were chunked up, I think your smaller designs that might not get as much recognition are still really great, and they speak to your personality. They speak to your design sense.
While you were out, we also got deep into generations.
Ooh,
So Monica Berry's surprised to know that I'm younger than her.
okay,
Um, um,
interesting. I
well,
turn.
okay, she says younger than I thought, but you have a year on me. So
Oh, okay,
we're that's not quite true.
right.
But we're
Miss,
also hearing about
perhaps
a
misread.
micro generation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've read those things. I think I think some of them are just like more like transitions, like cusps of generations, and people's personalities get in the way of what we expect out of a generation because people are individuals. And while we may have some things that like define us by our generation, everyone's going to be themselves because everyone is their own person. So I'm glad I wasn't here for it because I probably would have rambled my butt off.
Oh, I'm sure you would have. But I think,
Thank you.
um, part of this goes to, whether or not you were part of the Junko gene generation, right?
Right. I think that's the new micro generation we need to define is who was this Junko gene generation and why did
Yeah.
I never hear of it? Am I that far out? Hey, I turned a certain age this week.
Yeah. And so I also hear from Monica, we talked a little bit about hieroglyphs. She says a lack of vowels is an issue with hieroglyphs. So
Yes.
I said, okay, tell me a little bit about hieroglyphs. So some of them are symbols that represent sounds, some represent whole words,
Yeah.
and some complement the sounds together. So it sounds like it's quite a complex thing to try to learn.
I learned that at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago when I was a kid. That they wrote our names in hieroglyphics. They don't do double letters either because my sister's name is Gwen with two N's and she's very specific about it. And the woman was like, they don't do double consonants in hieroglyphs, and she insisted on having her like draw the bird twice or something like that.
Yeah. And Matt says the arms remind me of an explorer submarine. Yeah, that's kind of a little bit of
Totally
the
agree with that.
feeling. Yeah.
Thank you, Derby. I was gonna say that, and then it skipped my mind because live streaming is hard on your brain. I forgot I wanted to say that, but it does look like that. I agree 100%.
Yeah, and if we're the Oregon Trail micro generation, real guy, does that mean we are the died of dysentery generation while playing that game?
Or
Could be
are,
real guy.
are we the travel west? You're in a swamp. Travel west. You're in a swamp. Travel west. You're in a swamp. Generation.
Yes. And of course, that there were the kids who just wanted to hunt deer all day. They didn't do anything else
Yeah.
on Oregon Trail. They just tried to shoot the deer all day. And Monica did clarify. She thought I was younger, but I'm actually older by a little tiny bit. So respect me, Monica. I am your elder. Or don't. That's really up to you.
Our phones.
Let's see here.
I'm good at identifying letters used in things.
Yeah, let's see here.
Where I am now.
And yeah, so I guess you're learning some more about hieroglyphs. If they did a double consonant, it slips an unknown vowel sound in. So her hieroglyphic name says Gwenin.
You know
Okay.
what? I did not realize that we would light up the chat on hieroglyphics.
Well,
But
lots of
you
people
never
are
know.
interested. And of course, the question here is, what computer did you play Oregon Trail on? Well, it was in the computer lab at school. And of course, Apple had lots and lots of deals with schools to get apples in there. So it was probably on a Macintosh of some variety.
I don't even know. I don't know, man. I know at the
So,
time we had an Apple II. We had an Apple II Plus or Apple IIe. I don't remember which, but we had that.
yeah, so it was probably on an Apple of some variety.
I mean, like in our house.
So, Derby likes to say, "I was pre-Apple." Way to go, Derby. So I don't know, what did they have in the computer lab, if they even had one, Derby, Matt, while you were out there. And Joe Ellen says it was an Apple IIe for her.
Yeah. Good computer. I played Frogger on that for hours. Hey,
Yeah,
we're up Frogger 2 weeks in a row. Well,
we're gonna see how many times we can get Frogger in. Derby says it was an IBM. So,
yeah.
Well, anyway, that was Mr. Heavy Pants Mech for this week. We'll keep
Looks
building
great.
it out.
Yeah.
A couple other people had made some other observations, including Joellen saying this: desert landscape is that there's very little that is tall, and the mechs tend to overwhelm the landscape instead of being supported by it. So,
Yeah.
what I tried to do partly on the insectoid, now arachnid mech, was add some like phone line or power cable towers. What do you call those? Telephone post type deals, to try to make it a little taller. But yeah, I mean, part of this is you just want the mech to stand out against something.
Yeah, as I'm looking at these,
and that's kind of the challenge that I'm facing here.
if you don't mind, before we turn away from this, if
Yeah.
you could turn it towards us more so we get a full front view instead of this 3/4 view. Yeah, you know what? I would say you've chunkified the head a lot more than mini pants. So I would say give it wider hips, like bring those legs out a little bit more, and it'll match the proportions of what you did originally, and kind of let those give, like if you were thinking about making the mustache arms have more what's that called, range of motion, so they don't run into the legs, like really widen those legs out, like make it a wider hipped pants, Junko jeans, wider Junko jeans on this.
Yeah, make it more thick, right?
Yes,
With
like
all the
that.
C's. Yep. If you don't have all the C's in it, then what does it matter?
What's OT?
Oregon Trail.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, and you hit that. Sorry, I
Yes, we
meant
did
to
not.
hit this one, but the comments got around. Yep, happy birthday to all the people having birthdays in the last week, which I believe is Rialgar and me. Derby says, wait, nope, already did that one again. Okay, I know there's more. Yes, this. I blame Pharaoh's Quest. I love those games. I loved all the Quest games. I don't actually. I was thinking more of Space Quest, King's Quest. Was Pharaoh's Quest part of that line, or was Pharaoh's Quest something from a different generation than mine? I'm a Gen Xer. So was Pharaoh's Quest part of that line that did all those other games with Space Quest, King's Quest? There's one I'm missing that I don't remember. And while the same company did
King's
Lose Your
Quest,
Sweet Mary, what's that?
Yeah, King's Quest.
In answer to your question, Monica Berry, Police Quest was one of them. Monica Berry, yes, of course we want to know more pedantic facts about hieroglyphs. Please share with us. Derby says he was pre-Apple. I don't know about that. I met you a week ago, and I would say that you're probably not older than me. And I would say Apple was around before you think it was. So we got that computer in 1980, and it was an Apple. So let me know if you were using an IBM before 1980. Because I mean, I could be absolutely wrong. Rialgar says that he was stating his own history, that he wasn't sure of. What? I love this. I love this part of it. Let's go back to our faces to see how we're doing here as we go through the rest of these. You got that one. Yes, King's Quest. It moved on me again. And
missed.
Yeah. Do you remember they came out with a parody of it called Pissed? That was in like I think 1996.
Yeah.
SimCity 2000 on the PC. I do remember that game. Um, it was and it's not related to The Sims, right? Not the same company. It's not EA Sports or Origin or whatever it is. Um, that wasn't me though.
Yes. I think yeah, Matt's saying you maybe you met a different Matt.
Wasn't it though?
Well, this Matt that you're talking to now is from Minnesota. He may not have been in Indiana.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'm
He
mixing up my
has
math.
he has a
You guys
white
called it.
goatee
It's a white goatee.
and no hair usually. At least last time I saw him. It's been a while since I've seen Matt.
Yeah, I'm really mixing up my math. Sorry,
Mm,
Derby. Um,
yeah.
do you recognize your name at least? Sorry. Yes, that's what we've been
Well,
talking about. That's what screwed us up on the face part of it was the teeth on the underbelly because it's also its belly because it has no torso. Noun form and hieroglyphic equals adjective form. So saying hieroglyphics is like saying, oh,
ooh, we gotta watch ourselves.
ooh, hey, now that I know it, I'll probably never forget it. Yep, we got that. Sorry, buddy. I do apologize a lot. Um, thank you. Realgar. Wow, that came in quick. So maybe my internet speeds back up. We met at Brickworld Chicago. I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure we did. But guess what my brain is at Brickworld Chicago? I'd call it scrambled eggs, the very best. Yeah, I agree with Lego Team B. Looking really good. Your project is going well. Hey, do you have a Yes, Joel, and that's who I'm talking about. Um, do you have a which mech you're going to chunk up next?
Yeah, I'm working on the arachnoid mech. And we haven't seen it for a while. I can go grab it quick.
Sure, if
I
you
will
want
do
to.
that. And I'll solo you. I'll solo
Mm.
you while I do that. Look at that. There you are.
And will Matt Leota, I do apologize. Um, clarifies that we're not talking about the same Matt, obviously. And it was years ago that we met, but I feel like I know, like the name definitely stuck in my brain right away. That I was like, I do know this person, but I conflated you with somebody else who I met recently who has a similar name. Maybe Jolin is his last name similar. I don't even know. Don't type it in the chat because in case he wants to like keep his identity secret. Um, which people do want to do more and more nowadays, and I don't blame them. So here's before Ben gets his ready. Here's my odd world. Add that to the stage, and we're going to talk about R for redesign. Oh, hey, I didn't focus it or point it at anything, so it it looks appropriate though. It's a jungle for jungle's sake. Let me switch it to video so that we don't have all that weird stuff on it. There we go. Hey, that's a little bit better. So I've torn this up. You guys have seen this recently, and we'll talk about the pain of redesigning in a minute. And I think we've talked a lot about this on this stream, and we've talked about a lot about how Animal Crossing re-inspired me and what my favorite theme is, and wanting to build a beautiful like Fabuland world for all of my Fabuland figures to live in. But redesigning it the way that I want to, it takes a lot of time. So I was really excited this week, are for really, to get my hands on bricks again because it's been a while since I've been able to sit down and relax, are for relax, and really just design. It's been a very busy season since Brickworld Chicago, and I haven't had a ton of time to really dig in and be my creative self and just like kind of let go and not build against the deadline and just kind of like free form design and do whatever I wanted to do. So a lot of this took tearing it all apart. I had to take down all the trees from the orchard behind um, in order to move the city garden the way I wanted it to show up and reconfigure, R for reconfigure. And at the same time, it was a joy because um, I haven't been able to do this for quite a while. And I feel the kind of, I'll just use, for lack of a better word, I'll say privilege in being able to get to do this with my time. This is part of my job, so I'm getting ready to do this for the live stream, and I'm going to bring it to a show and hopefully be able to bring it to several of the expos and fill some space with it at the expos. So not everybody has that sort of ability to make Lego building part of their job, but I do. And it's been a while since I've been able to appreciate that fact. And so this week was definitely that for me. It's amazing to me how much time this takes. I always think I can build quickly, but in this state where we're still trying to like put some things back together, I had a couple of what would you call it? I had a couple of pieces that I use often, like my go-to pieces that I probably put in a bag and brought to Brickworld to try to put some last minute finishing touches on this, and have just then misplaced. Um, and so it kind of hindered my ability to do this as quickly as I think I could. But I mean, we all put up with that. We all put up with the like, I know I bought 500 of these. I don't know where they are. Maybe I use them somewhere. So I'll order more on Brickworld, on Bricklink. And so then as soon as you do, you find the bag of 500 you did order. And that's one of the pieces that's missing for me that I refuse to buy because I know it is somewhere in this house. And so I'm a little bit stuck on some of my foliage stuff because I refuse to buy anymore because I know I had a full bag of them for Brickworld this year. Um let's see. We've got some new comments in here. And yep, Jolyn confirms, yeah, it's not a close name. And Rialgar says, let's take a moment to appreciate your backlighting for those storage bins. Thank you very much. I had two puppies sleeping on a bed, getting my way of plugging those back in because I unplugged them before I leave town. And I actually have a remote for those as well. That doesn't always work. The last ones I bought had an app that connected to them, and I haven't been able to get the app to connect to these, but I can get them to do like light shows, like shift the color that they're showing all night. So we'll try to get that in a future stream. Ben, do you have your next mech up on?
I do.
Awesome.
All right, let's show this thing here. There it is. Hey, you are all over that this time.
Yeah,
So
now I'm getting it.
here's what we're working on chunking up now. The
Mm,
eight leg special.
mm-hmm.
Only one of the feet is mostly done. I think I ended up putting it in the middle here. But we're seeing a couple of feet are still missing. But this is what we're moving towards,
Wow.
is an 8-legged creature here.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that one. It's this one way in the back. Well, that's not that one either. Man, I gotta take a full swing before I find the finished leg. There it
I
is.
love the way it moves though, as you're trying to spin it around, like the organic way that it moves. Yeah, look at that. That's great.
Yeah, it
That's
moves around a little.
fantastic.
Still manages to keep
Yeah.
a pretty decent balance.
Uh-huh.
So that's what we're working on there. So I kind of got these chonky feet on this guy as well, with then
Like
sort of
it.
the more spindly looking legs, which is what I'm
Yep.
going for. And then we'll have this chunkier body in the middle. And I got to make sure that it's sturdy enough to stand up straight when it's done, which is going to be part of the challenge that I'm working out with this. So yeah, this is what we'll move on to next. It's going to need a very different base compared to what Mr. Heavy Pants can stand on. So
Right.
it's going to be a bit different in that respect.
All right. Looking forward to seeing that. Do you think it's going to be something we see like next week, or is it going to be a while? Are you going to work on Mr. Heavy Pants back in the
Um,
again?
Part of the problem is I am missing a number of pieces in dark red in order to make the the feet complete. So a lot of the parts aren't ones that are in great quantity. So I'm probably going to have to bricklink them. which is fine. I
Yeah.
also I know a lot of people talked quite a bit of smack last week. We talked about the upcoming Avengers Tower, and what everyone basically said was, I'm just glad they're not building another Hulkbuster.
Right.
But a Hulkbuster would be good for me from the perspective that they are this dark red color, and they happen to create quite a bit of the pieces that I need in order to complete the legs. So I think after the legs are complete, and the heavy pants Spider Mech, maybe that's not what we'll call him, but when Spider Mech has all of his feet attached, then we can get more serious about moving on to the head. And the head is going to increase the weight a fair amount. So I want to make sure that this guy can stand on his own pretty well before I fully commit to that. So I do want to
Nice.
complete the feat, which means a bricklink order. And in the meantime, I don't have my dark red out yet. I
Yeah.
haven't put all the orange away yet from building the ship, but I will get that stuff squared away, and then we can move on. So
I understand that very much.
yeah,
Like trying to put the entire house back together after the flood, and then also pulling pieces out to build new stuff. Because I've also been working on reconfiguring our interactive display for the shows, the one where all the kids get to build the city. So I pull out all sorts of different parts for all sorts of different things, and there's still massive stuff being moved around the basement to find like a home. And then I'm pulling stuff for Brick World Chicago, for like our exclusive sets, and some of the other stuff that we put out from the Lego order that we get for putting those things together. And so it's just kind of like a battlefield down here. It's just like obstacle course. There we go. Um, so here's what I've worked on this week. It was basically like pulling it apart. You see, I've taken all the cherry trees down. And the main point of this now is to reconfigure that back wall that was just a straight wall into a staircase leading up to the orchard house. So that's basically all I was able to get done, was tear that wall in half, kind of fix that foliage I have off, off to the upper left, which is kind of in the middle of the screen. The pink flowers over
yep.
The vine there, yeah. But you can kind of look at where I pulled the staircase out, which is this area here where it originally was. Pulled that out of there, and so it leaves me a big space up here for the cherry blossom trees. And then moved that staircase and reconfigured it to go up and up, and eventually we'll get that entrance to the orchard house somewhere around here, which puts me past the edge of the module, of course. But it might look all right here, so I might want to do that. And this is already kind of built modularly, so it kind of sit in place once all the other modules go together. So that's okay. It's just a lot of work in the meantime to kind of like pull everything apart, put it back together, build new modules of it. And this is, I guess, putting this up is less about asking for feedback about it, because you can't really see what's going on quite yet. And more about talking about, how we build things for structure and how we tackle things when we decide we want to redesign them. Because sometimes when you decide you want to change one thing, and I would say a good example was in the Lost episodes, where I suggested that you had a tower that was gray that you recolor white, and you did
Yes.
it in like a week. That must have been a ton of work.
It wasn't super pleasant, no.
Just reconfiguring this and trying to figure out how I did this center arch.
Yeah.
This area here. Whoops. Did my battery die?
No, it's still there.
Oh, okay. I got a circle, so it's probably my my internet connection. But the center arch here, as I was taking it apart, I was like, wow, this is elaborate. I forgot that I put this many pieces in it in order to make it look the way I wanted it to look, and kind of recreating it and reteaching yourself, without instructions, how you built something that you want to repeat, let alone like looking at the base underneath where the cherry blossoms were, I was like, yeah, I used a lot of my green brick. I could probably replace that with some Technic to make it a little bit more sturdy, make it easier to connect the modules together, and kind of revisit. Like, one of the things that I've wanted to do, considering the layout that I want for all these different animals to live in different places. I wanted to build a grotto, and that might be something I could put over, like, in this area here, um, and have it maybe even underneath the cherry orchard, because we've looked at this before. I have an entire, like, waterfall complex that goes to the left of this, or to the top, uh, from where we're looking at it now, and I can reconsider that as well. We can put a grotto in there and have, like, the hippo. That's where the hippo lives, or something like that. All sorts of options as I go into fix one thing, and it opens me up a lot of new options. But sometimes I feel like we have to um, have the tenacity to go in and try to fix that one problem, and tear it apart to this extent, because I mean, a lot of this just has to start over almost from scratch, to be able to put it back together the way that I wanted it to. Um, and another thing that this reminds me of is I'm trying to make sure that I keep these modules that I'm building, relatively thin, so that I can transport them a little bit more easily. That's something somebody at Fort Wayne asked me about. Was like, it was their first show, and they had never transported from their home to a venue, and a bunch of stuff fell apart on the way. And so they were like, do you have any resources for how to pack for shows? Maybe that's something that we can do a couple episodes on, and again, try to be concise with what we're showing people, so that we can, like, make little 5-minute cuts from those live streams, and kind of leave them for resources to people, to how to think about designing modularly, or designing in a way that lends itself to taking it apart, putting it back together, moving it around, putting it in a box, putting it in a car. And I have lots of experience with that. I have custom boxes for all of these sections, that I can certainly go over and show people how I make them, and then B, how I modify them once I've actually taken them to a show.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, did my internet die?
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. I just can't see you.
Yeah, I can't see me either. I got a note that my camera has vanished.
Oh, who sent you the note?
StreamYard. So that was
StreamYard.
nice of them.
That was.
Hold on here. Let's
Yeah,
restart my cam and see what happens here.
I'm
What
gonna go
is
ahead
going
and,
on? Hey, I'm back. I'm back.
hey, look, it's you.
Yep,
That's
that was
fun.
interesting.
Yeah, very interesting, especially considering all we're showing on the stream right now is my camera, so they had no idea what we were talking about.
Yeah, but all of a sudden there I was, vanished
Professional live streamers, kids.
into the ether. So I think what I've
We're good at
noticed
this.
probably a lot about the rebuild is your rebuild is also
Mhm.
meaning you need more real estate.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's probably a problem I run into sometimes too. Is if I don't
Yeah.
kind of set a footprint to start with.
Mm-hmm.
If I build the building first and then want to build terrain around it, sometimes I kind of have to stretch in all kinds of different directions, because sort of what I thought I was going to be able to fit in a space and what I can actually fit in a space are two very different things.
That's always my problem. I can't build small, and so
Yeah.
when I tell myself I set myself a footprint that's going to be small, I always break outside of that footprint. And I do like leaving myself the capability to grow bigger and change what my original idea was, and not be constrained by a footprint. Actually, now that I finally put this together, I already like it better, and I'm glad I've done this because finally there's some asymmetry in there, and I love my asymmetry. The challenges that remain now, once I'm putting this all back together, and I'm really excited about it now. Let's put this thing up here. Like this is putting wind in my sails. This is gonna be like the vague area where this ends up. I can't make it stay there. Whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be like there.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty, right? You can see what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Oh, actually, never mind. It's gonna be like here. Just for basic proportions, it's gonna be back there. So we're getting some asymmetry in there. And it leaves me a couple of challenges. One is my constant challenge because I love putting staircases and things, and making railings for staircases is always a challenge, especially when I've got something that's a very specific sort of castle-like aesthetic. Is that for a railing to go up this side, I want it to look stone, but I also want it to be angled. And so I don't think I can't meet this challenge, but it's definitely going to be a challenge. And I don't have an idea in mind quite yet. I like the paths, the way they go in the rectangle around the pool and around the trellises that are the vineyard. But this leaves a big empty spot right here. And so I got to come up with something to fill that space in that is intentional. And I don't want more path there. I don't want more pathway going back there. I want something like a gazebo or a garden or like a seating area, or even a harbor, an entrance to another house, something to go back there. That would look nice. And then it's going to deepen, as you were saying, the footprint is going to get deeper. And again, I'm on a table here that's like one, two, three, four, five, six base plates deep, the whole table. I don't want to go back too far, but the cherry orchard, the cherry blossom trees behind it are going to change their configuration and change. Oh, battery did die now. All right. Hold on. Now my mouse is dead too. Here we go. It's back to us. I'll change the battery real quick and point out what I'm talking about. But I'm not too afraid of the fact that the cherry trees are going to occupy a deeper space, because I think I do have the real estate for it. Is that I've identified when I show the entire thing together, I've got that like heart-shaped tunnel that the cherry blossom trees create that needs a backdrop. So then something is going to need to go behind that as well. So how many tables is this going to take up? Right now, it takes up one table that is 8 feet deep, instead of like most displays are 8 feet wide and 2.5 feet deep. And so I'm just creating more and more depth and not any width because I'm so obsessed with this one area. And I've thought about breaking them up and like putting the cherry orchard off to the side. But at the same time, since I'm making plans on the moon and this hasn't made its way to a show yet in its full form, that I should just keep going and do what I want to do, because this is my hobby and this is my creative expression. So why not keep going as far as I can to make myself happy with what I'm doing?
Well, I mean, I think the big thing on this particular mock for you, this particular radical design, because I hate to break it to everybody, but we're still just on topic one. Is that part of what you've always envisioned is seeing it sort of from that entranceway?
Yes.
And sort of seeing it go up as it goes back,
Up and back,
through the various doorways and windows and whatever else, and kind of expanding into that final tunnel. And it would be unfortunate if a space constraint stopped the vision from happening.
Well, it kind of goes back to our original topic that wasn't in the run of show, in the Renown. Like the only thing stopping me from continuing to do this is like worrying about bringing it to shows and it being too narrow. Too narrow for who?
Yeah.
It's like
It's just different. That's all it
Continuing to
is.
build for ourselves and make ourselves happy in the hobby that we love. That's the important thing, I think. Um, and so like when we're having a conversation like we did tonight about like, are we worried about the awards categories for Eurobricks that we're going to be in or out of? Yeah, thank you, Lego Team B. I'm definitely going to. It's funny to me how these thoughts get in our heads when they don't need to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any
Yeah.
thoughts about this before we move on? 'Cause I think I brought up enough existential Lego hobbyist topics. Um, but I'd be happy to hear any feedback you have based on this. Granted, it's also covered with remnants of me cannibalizing what was already there.
That's true. So behind the staircase, right
Yes.
now, so sort of where the staircase ends and that the old wall's been pushed back down on the bottom level. Yeah, so down in there, is there a gap between the back of your staircase and the start of the wall over to the right or to the left, I guess, of the staircase? Yeah, so right there, if you go
Here?
to your right, right there, yep. So is there a gap between the end of the staircase where it levels out onto that first plateau and
Yes,
that wall in the back?
that was an unpleasant surprise. There certainly is, but since I have a window here,
Yep.
it gives me an opportunity to put some sort of like more foliage behind that window and make that window be more what's it called? Uh, I the word is at the tip of my brain. I said it earlier. The word is deliberate. Make that window. There's a reason for the window to be there, and it's because there is some sort of plant being grown back there, or there's some sort of like there's a water feature, or there's something that happens behind that window that there
Yep.
is space there, and which is the other problem is as I was putting this up against my previous cherry blossom orchard area, is that this area back here, there's a window, but then there's a hill. So I'm like, what does the window look at? I could put bricks behind it, but then what's the point of having a window?
Right. Yeah, so I think those two areas that sort of yeah, I appreciate the asymmetry. But now you've created some gaps, I think, that we need to
Mhm.
make relevant. There's got to
Yeah,
be, and I think you have a lot of opportunity to make some really cool things behind those windows that people want to peek into.
I think so too.
And some
I,
interesting architectural choices, like how do you get in behind there? Is there some sort of access
yes.
under the stairs, or
Oh yeah.
on the backside or something? There's an arch of some variety that lets you get into sort of this hidden world behind the walls where you can grow some plants or whatever. So,
Well, and what I've thought of so far is like because you can get into the orchard house from that staircase,
yep,
and then also into the cherry tree orchard. Something underneath here would be the foundation of the house. So there could be
right.
some sort of like
Basement
cellar or
or
like some sort
cellar.
of
Yep.
um, access to a secret
Hmm.
garden that you can like get a glimpse of, but it's private or whatever. And again, that gives me the huge opportunity in that wall that I've moved back
Right.
because it's all outside landscaping. I think the pieces that I'm talking about making for our collab are trees. I talked about that for a while tonight. Again, that's what I can't find the pieces for, but I want to use that specific piece in here as well. And so it kind of gives me a double reason for wanting to do that for the collab. So that I can use them here and use them um, in the collaborative and just be able to repeat some pieces in this building. Um, so Joellen, we did a Pepper's Ghost feature in our Oasis build, and we didn't realize this till we were on site. It was on a table that was on the floor. Like we didn't even lower it. like with those like 1 foot braces that we bring to the shows. Those tables were on the floor, and people got down on their bellies to look and see the Pepper's
Yeah.
ghost. It was great for kids because they could just kind of squat down and see it, and they loved it. And it was kind of like more of a secret for the kids, where the parents would be like, "Move out of the way! I got to lay down on the floor to see this." I love that sort of like peekaboo thing. That's why I like having the ability to make that grotto I was talking about behind this portion. So there's like something extra special, and it opens up the ability to do that. What I don't want it to do is turn it into something where I'm like, well, then we can make something on the entire back of it, and there's an entire underwater cavern. I don't want to make this a full 360 walk around, uh, because I know what that's like to fit into an expo map. But again, that's uh, that's my that's my renowned brain coming up with reasons not to do something that I want to do. So maybe I will just put it back there, and we'll not everybody needs to see it. If it comes to a show, one of the expos, we don't need to make that viewable to the public, but I can find some other place to post it, like say my YouTube channel and my live stream. You know, it can be our secret, a tainted secret.
Yeah.
That's all I
I
got.
think eventually we've got to get this where all the tainted can see and enjoy it. Hopefully that's Chicago someday, but
Oh yeah,
it'll be
maybe this year, maybe a couple years from now. Who knows?
it'll
I'm not
be
going to put time constraints on myself.
yeah. It'll happen at some point. Let's see here. Run a show, we're moving on to something new. Regurts.
It
Regurts.
hurts.
So I think it's
All right.
an adorable Snickers commercial, where there's a guy getting a tattoo that says "No regrets," and of course he reads it "No regrets" because it's supposed to say "No regrets," of course. And the question is, does he regret that tattoo or not? Hard to say. But I want to talk about maybe some of our Lego regrets. And I'm guessing that the chat's going to have a few as well. Is there a theme, a set, a something that you missed that you absolutely regret passing up on? Or is there something you purchased that you've hated so much it's ruined your life that you regret buying it? Do you have a Lego
Um,
regret?
one of my regrets is that I've been needing to hydrate more because we switched my high blood pressure medication. Welcome to the age that I'm turning this week. And so I drank a lot of water today, and I have to use the bathroom again. So I'll be back if you
I'll
want to
start my
start with your
regret.
regrets.
I certainly will.
I already gave my first one. Too much water.
I don't think that's a regret.
It is though.
That's just that's just good good decisions to stay hydrated. My regret would have to be this silly set. Some of you may know it, some of you may love it, some of you may hate it. But of course, I'm talking about 10190-1 Market Street. Now, why is this set a regret? I didn't buy this set. Let me tell you why I didn't buy this set. Because it's stupid. Okay? But the problem with this particular set, even though, as you will see, it is considered a creator expert and a factory set, it is also considered to be amongst the modular building collection. So those of us who are completists, who have all the modulars, may or may not agree, this one's a bit controversial, as to whether or not Market Street falls in as a modular. They did do a mini modular, I don't know if it was a gift with purchase or what it was, a few years back, and they included Market Street in the mini modulars. So it seems as if Lego is acknowledging that this set is in fact in the modular lineup. And I didn't buy it because to me, it didn't seem or feel like a modular. The other thing to note about this one, it came out the same year as Corner Cafe. They sort of
Yeah.
changed up their cadence, and now they release a new modular every January 1st. But this
That
one
has
was
quite
sort
a
of,
history.
yeah, this one's sort of a bit of an offshoot.
It was a fan design set.
It was a Lego factory set. They had a couple of
Well,
those before they started doing,
yeah,
you know,
ideas.
ideas,
Trousseau.
Kuso, which became
Yeah.
ideas. They had
Mhm.
a couple different sets. There was this one, and then there was one Space Skulls or something, which was a an
Oh,
interesting set.
died
Um,
in infamy, let's call it that one. You put it gently. I'll just say it died in infamy,
I
unfortunately.
liked they had a lot of stickers with skulls on them, and the skulls were kind of
Yeah.
cute. Um, but that's
Build bureau.
that would be what my regret would be. I did bricklink this set. If anybody doesn't know what that is, that's getting the list off bricklink and trying to buy the parts to build it. There are
Yeah.
a couple of parts in particular. These white railings right here that are this flex hose that are rare and hard to get. I ordered some from a bricklink seller and they sent me different ones. Disappointing, of course. Also, the windows
Okay.
I'm using aren't quite right. These are a particular window style. I'm using something similar that's not identical. But I I did try to do that to be completist. I also think that my base plates might be a different color than the ones that were on here. Or I did it on one base plate instead of two 16 by 32s or whatever. But
Yeah.
it was one of those things where, for whatever reason, I was compelled to bricklink the set after the fact because I
Mm.
didn't buy it, and it sort of unwittingly became considered a modular. So that's my
Well,
Lego
and again, it
regret.
was like a legend for it was also a legend for like a Lego fan that we lost because the person who designed it died shortly after it was released. Um, I don't know if you did these comments while I was in the restroom. Did you
No,
bring up
so I
someone's?
was gonna, now that I know with my regret, let's see some of the chat, and some of these I'm not surprised by. So
I do apologize because I can tell right now. I can tell right now my internet's really lagging because your audio is lagging for me. So is your video, and I don't think you can hear me when I first start talking. So again,
that's
I don't know
okay.
what's happening over here in Chicago, but I don't have stellar internet tonight. So Joellen said that she regrets not buying Monster Fighters, which I could totally see for her style of building, missing out on some of those minifigures, especially. I feel the same way about that line actually. Quite a lot of unique minifigures that came out just in that line, and in that regard, I would say I regret not getting the Scooby Doo sets while they were available.
Yeah.
I didn't buy any.
I did have some of the monster fighters. I loved the werewolf figure, among other ones. I remember they came out in 2012.
I
Um,
remember that very well too, actually.
yes. Mark and I remember that for different reasons, but it was the
Mhm.
first Brick World I went to, first Brick World Mark was at, where we met. You had been to some other ones, but it was the first one I had attended. And I remember I got a werewolf guy, and he was included on one of my display pieces, and somebody swiped him.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So I lost a werewolf. That was in the old Wheeling location at the hotel there, not at the nice convention
Mhm.
center that we do it
The
now.
Weston. Yep.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Another regret. Which one of us is gonna get the
Sorry.
final push on this one? Monica Berry not buying the elves line.
I have a weird one with this line because I really like the line, but I didn't buy any of the ones like that were dragon focused.
Hmm.
I bought like the buildings. And so I missed out on a lot of cool pieces just because I was like, I'll never use these
And
dragon
the
pieces.
cute little baby
These are useless.
dragons.
I have all the baby dragons, but I think I bricklinked all of them.
Yeah.
I love the baby
Lots
dragons.
of lots of interesting colors. Lots of
Mhm.
dark purple. In some of those later lines where they had the bad guys with the black and dark purple castles that were cool.
Yeah. Let's regret the fact that they canceled that line for Trolls
Yeah.
World Tour.
Yeah. Well, you didn't say that Trolls was your regret.
Right?
I think Real Guy was asking what's going on to the left of Market
And I have no control over
Market
that.
Street. It's, well,
Yes, yes. I that was supposed to be like a wrought iron entrance gate
To
to
the little
the
market.
courtyard off to the
Yeah.
side. That's what was going on there, and those were the only pieces they had at the time to kind of make that. I think if they had the capability now, it would have looked a lot nicer. It does look a little bonkers in retrospect. At
Yeah.
the time, it was kind of like cool. They're doing stuff like this. It was actually kind of a draw to the set that they had a cool wrought iron gate. But I do understand your reaction to it
With the
now.
black owl and the whips, as
And the
sort of
dinosaur tails.
the
Yeah.
dinosaur tails as the parts.
The completist gene made me scour the world for parts to build this one. No regrets, but not super impressed that it's a modular. So Lego Team B, not surprisingly, went through the
Same
same
struggle I did.
steps you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are kind of cut from the same cloth, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to tell you on that, because when I ordered those railings off Bricklink and they sent me the wrong ones, they were, no, more than that, $12 a piece or something, and you needed 4 of them. They were ridiculously expensive. The ones they sent me were worth,
Yeah.
50 cents, less than that. So I did send them
You,
a message and they did refund me the
yeah,
money, but they didn't have the right ones. So I still don't have them.
yeah.
So Joellen believes that Lego regurts Galador. Maybe. They've had some other interesting things that they may or may not regurt as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's think of some of Lego's regurts.
Prince of Persia.
And just throw them out there. Prince of Persia, yeah. I think the Hobbit line from Lord of the Rings.
There's some good sets in there. There's some good figs.
There's
some really good torsos.
There are. I don't.
Oh, the Hobbit,
The Hobbit
specifically. Yeah.
Because they got the Lord of the
wanted,
Rings license, and then we started releasing the sets before the Hobbit started coming out, and
I
then they had to
regret,
build those specifically for the Hobbit movies, and the sets were all terrible.
yeah. I regret not getting the Goblin King because I thought that was a cool figure.
That's
And
not
it's
too
not like
bad.
that one.
That's actually pretty good.
Right. The sets themselves, fantastic. The movies?
Some of the sets are okay. The Smog guy, he's pretty decent too. The Smog Dragon.
I do wonder if they regurt.
But
I do wonder if they regurt the Trolls movie license.
as well.
Apparently, they're coming out with another one. I wonder if they're going to actually release Lego sets for it.
My kids are
I
excited.
mean, bring back elves, man. I really hope. I wish they would bring back elves. I would say for the first time in a long time, I'm excited about new lines coming out. I'm excited about Dreams. I'm excited about Animal Crossing. And I would say that's probably my big regret. If I'm going to say, I regret the fact that I stopped buying Lego sets as frequently as I used to, because I'm missing out on having, like, as we've talked about with Closet of Shame, having parts laying around.
Yeah. What about the jelly aliens from the Mars mission line? Is that a regurt?
Oh, those are genius. Oh no, those are the best.
Oh man.
You remember do you remember the Kill a Jelly contest on Eurobricks?
No, I wish I would have participated though. I've got a number of those ugly jellies. They're just 2 pieces. Eventually they ended up making like a super jelly that was bigger. But it was just 2 pieces, just a leg piece and then a top piece, and they were in dark or trans green.
Yeah.
They were ugly, but they were kind of fun.
Hey Ben, I don't think there's any reason that we can't run another Kill a Jelly contest here on Think Outside the Box.
I don't know why we couldn't. Alien autopsy for those jellies.
I forget what I did with mine, but I remember I really liked my my entry. So before we go on with these comments, I think it might help us for me to drop out, restart, rejoin, because my internet's getting so slow. You're getting all max headroom over here. So I am on the comment that Matt Leota tells us he regrets not buying all 6 of the bag
Revan. Yeah.
Yeah, is that really? I don't even know
Revan.
that character.
It looks like it should be Revan, but I think it's Revan. But
is it?
Saw that at a
Again,
comic book show for only
Realgar?
$25.
Do we know? All right, wish me luck. I'm gonna leave you, and then I'm gonna come back. Bye, everybody. I'll miss you.
We can double talk some of these while Mark's coming back in, because there are some in here that don't necessarily equate to a Lego Regurt. So Riogar's just sort of feeling the same way with me about the werewolf theft. It was unfortunate. The werewolf wasn't in like a ridiculously expensive set. It was a tree. It wasn't, the most amazing tree I've ever seen. But the werewolf itself was pretty cool, and there was a good selection of brown pieces. So I just bought a second set. It's not like it, destroyed my entire world. Joe Ellen says, I want a bunch of those green jelly aliens for a build. They're I don't know if they're expensive on Bricklink or if nobody wants them. But they are known as the jelly aliens. But it's not the only jelly thing that we joke about a Lego fail for, a Lego Regurt. We also, of course, joke about the Jelly Bean Knights, which were a series of characters in a medieval setting that had very brightly colored armor. It was Nexo Knights before we had Nexo Knights, minus the sci-fi part, but they all had, a specific sigil or heraldry that they went with, as well as a bright color. So there was like a baby blue knight with like a monkey on the shield or something like that. So the Jelly Bean Knights and the Jelly Aliens. I can't remember if those sets were called Mars Mission, or I don't think it was Mission to Mars. I think it was Mars Mission. That they had the green jellies. Yes, it is Mars Mission is what they're called. And let me see here. Let's see what the little jelly alien, here it is. Mars Mission alien with marbled glow in dark torso. So they do glow in the dark, which is kind of adorable. And if you want one of the regular non-super aliens, let's see what you can get them for. Yeah, they're fairly cheap on Bricklink. If I wanted to get one from a seller in the USA, and let's say I wanted a decent quantity. So let's go with a big quantity. To get them in quantity, you're paying between $1 and $2 for them. Some are as low as 70 cents. So they're not ridiculously expensive, obviously. So you can still get some of the Mars Mission aliens without too much of a struggle. The other interesting thing they had with these Mars Mission guys is they had this alien guy here. Welcome back, Mark.
We're still on this.
Well, I wanted to talk about that while you were gone here. So let me show this other thing. Show my screen here. So this guy here was sort of the super alien version of the Mars Mission.
Yeah, gross.
And what I liked the most about him is he has this dark torso, right? And then he has arms and legs, but the arm piece and the leg piece are the same piece. It's just that the leg piece connects where kind of the hand is at the hip, and then there's a hole down here at the ankle, and then the hand piece connects at the ankle, and then uses that as the hand. So it was an interesting design choice. But there you go. There's the super alien from the line. They're a little more expensive, though, if you want to get the more expensive guy. This is the European prices, so I bet the US prices are a little brutal on these guys. So if you want to get them in quantity. So
how far did you get in the comments?
I just went to these in particular. So we could keep talking this one. Yeah, you weren't gone too long.
Yeah.
They're not in high quantity, and they're quite a bit more expensive for the super aliens. Yeah, the other ones were only like $1, $2 to get the little guys, but the big ones, the alien commander, will set you back $7 to $15.
Really
crazy, huh?
Why? I think that's inflated.
Yeah,
Joan says,
I
regret not getting the Scooby sets, though. I'm only missing 2 now, and Velma is really expensive. Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons I regret it, is because those minifigs are super unique. I'd love to see them do another line. Let's get them to come out with another movie, and we can fix that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that werewolf theft. It's rather rare, are for rather and rare, that we hear of theft from a Brick World show.
It's much better now, I think.
Yeah, that
In 2012, it happened a few times, and I think part of it too was that the aisles were a lot smaller.
mhm.
The stanchions were plastic chain,
Oh, those things. Oh my god, you
um,
guys, those things.
so they didn't really keep people from getting their
No,
hands in there quite as well.
they didn't keep anybody from anything. So those things, all right, the Brick World staff knows that I have this whole thing, but so if you know now, if your stanchions get pushed around a lot, they're metal. So we'll gaff tape them to the floor. Like we look every day to see like where the stanchions are getting really pushed in. We'll gaff tape them down. What they did in 2012 and before was they had these plastic stanchions that were yellow. Yellow is everything. And what do we hate more than any other color? What do we do to it? When someone says yellow, what do we say, Ben?
Boo earns, or maybe just straight up boo.
So they're
It's not
bright
good.
yellow. They're plastic, and it's just like this plastic chain between each stanchion that like is a big frowny face. So they basically hit the floor. I remember walking across the floor and being like, something stuck to my foot. And it was like, oh, it's this packing tape that was holding down those stanchions. And then I realized not only is the packing tape stuck to my shoe, so is one of the stanchions. And I dragged like a long line of chain and stanchions from someone's layout
Wah wah.
along with me. Ugh,
Yeah,
that's
it was a hideous color yellow.
it's a what's it called? It's traumatic for me to obviously it triggered an entire like you guys got to hear this. Those things are the worst. Um, Monica Berry says she has two sets, a poly bag and one baby dragon from Elves.
I would think so. Yes, that's the elves line.
Where are we at here? Oh yeah, with the modular,
The wrought iron
the
gate.
Market Street one. Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
it
a
is
little
kind of
sadomasochistic.
sadomasochistic. Um,
I'll tell you why I said it that way later.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, also, why is it so very easy for me to say it? Time cruisers and time twisters. Now, I don't regret that so much because I bought that so much. I was in college when those came out. Go ahead, look up the date if you guys really want to.
I
They,
remember him.
yeah, they had like unique window elements. Like one of the, it's now like the half cylinder, like the 2x4 half cylinder in trans blue or trans light blue. So I would go and buy one of those every couple of weeks when I would get my paycheck. I was delivering pizzas for Domino's in college. I would buy that, and then when that line ended, I started buying the like the Cycle Fix It Center or like the Auto. Some there was a city set with it was the first one that came out with bay windows, and I wanted more of those bay windows. And there was, I can get on AOL and get on Auxzilla or something like that back then and try to buy several, but I also never put my credit card information online in 1999. So yeah, I know the time cruisers and time twisters very well because they had unique elements and you can get elements from every theme. So I bought a ton of those.
Hmm.
Uh,
The other thing that
I would
I
say,
would point out, the time cruisers is sort of a pretty good precursor in a lot of ways to what Dreams is now. A
oh,
lot of a
interesting
lot
take.
of sort of the twisting of the genres and like
Oh,
a
okay.
pirate ship that's also a flying time machine or a
Yeah.
train that's also castle.
Okay. Hadn't
So
looked at it
there's
that way
yeah, there's
before.
some of that. I think it's
Yeah.
a decent precursor if you go back and look at some of them.
Yeah, but it was like that was that's one of my regrets is my dark age because I was kind of forced into it by renown. So my R for regret, R for renown. I didn't, I was in college, so I didn't want people
Yeah.
to know that I was like playing with Lego.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, I still had the desire to. So I never had like a dark age that wasn't like forced upon me by like social norms or whatever you would call it. Um, because I wanted to keep building, and that's why when I would go to Toys R Us, and I would ride my bike to the Toys R Us on campus with a big old backpack to like shove sets into. I get the Time Twisters and Time Cruisers because they had pieces from all themes, and I at that point hadn't really embraced the idea that I was a Fabuland builder. I just wanted to build Castle or City or Star Wars or whatever was coming out. That's another regret, is I sold the 1999 line because I had enough sense to buy 2 of each set when the Star Wars stuff came out, and then I sold them on eBay in 2001, 3 years later,
Ooh, a little too early, huh?
to pay my rent. I mean, they went for a
Yeah.
good amount. But dear
Even more
Lord,
now, right? If you could have held them.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't want to look them up and see where they're at. So Joellen screamed at us. That was my childhood.
Time Cruisers and Time Twisters, I believe, is who she was
Well, she's saying it to Realgar.
No.
Oh,
Realgar
no,
is saying it to her.
oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Reading is hard. R for reading is hard. Joellen, that was my childhood. Which one is he referring to? Oh, the Time Cruisers.
The Time Cruisers and Time Twisters. And
Got
I would say down here, Realgar also saying similar to what I was saying between Dreams and Time Cruisers, Time Twisters. So I think Realgar's a fan of all three.
Yeah, I am too. I 100% agree with that. Did you see this?
Yes, that was why we were talking about that when you came back. Because
Okay.
Joellen wants a bunch of those, and I'm like, well, they're probably not that expensive, and in fact, they aren't.
Right. Let's see. What is Matt? What's 300?
He's talking about those Darth Revan figures.
Oh,
$350
okay.
a piece now. You could have got 6 of them at $25 a pop.
Yeah. Are we talking about the Knights Kingdom 2 Knights?
I was talking about how those stupid aliens, we call them the jelly aliens, and how we seem to have something against jelly in the Lego community, because one of our other favorite things to tease were the Jelly Bean Knights, which were
Yes.
Knights Kingdom 2. I'm not talking about the Fright Knights.
Are we way behind on comments, or am I way behind?
You're just behind because you left and came back. I just talked about these couple things in particular.
But you put these up?
I did, yep.
All these comments?
Not all of them.
Oh, okay.
I just talked about the aliens, which is why some of them are response to me talking about the aliens.
Got that. Gotcha. So Cornelia says he also regrets not getting the Velma set. I feel like we all do. Violent yellow.
I'd say those stanchions were violent yellow. Yes.
I regret, by the way, my last pick brick order. I accidentally hit violent yellow instead of cool yellow. So I have a bunch of that highlighter yellow tile. I think Joellen, was that one of the ones that you wanted? Because I'm not going to use them unless I do September next year. They'd go great in that. At Fort Wayne, our stanchions kept sliding because people kept leaning on them, and ended up 6 feet from our tables if we didn't keep an eye on it. 6 inches from the table. So not only do I want to put up signs on those stanchions that say these are not load bearing, I want to put up a sign on those stanchions that says keep your mouth off of it, because every show I've ever done, and I always think I'm exaggerating, but I see it every time. I see a kid running along those stanchions, pushing it in with his or her mouth. They run their tongues along the crossbars. I'm like, where are your parents? Dear Lord, man. Monica Berry says, recently gotten some of the White Whale elf sets. Good. Glad to hear it. Hopefully you're getting them for a deal, because I see some of those at the expos where I know they're like 3 or 4 times the amount that they were MSRP. Yeah.
That's true for most old sets.
Again,
it's part of it.
Yeah. Realgar, we're on the same page, 100% on the same page with that. I think like my big thing for if I have a regret for not buying a theme, it would be like right when I was in college, right before all the Star Wars sets came out, they were coming out with like more Paradisa sets, like little like playgrounds and like different color arches and slides and stuff. And like that was kind of like, I knew I wanted those pieces. Bring Clorox wipes. I mean, if you want to wipe down all the stanchions, I mean, you can't save all the kids. And they're building up their bacterial imprint. It's okay, I guess. Omega.
You missed it. It's okay.
You keep doing the shows, you will see that happen.
Yeah, borrow some of Monica's wipes.
We watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse last night, And there's a scene where there's a kid like licking the train window and does not stop. And I'm like, 100% real, 100% not an exaggeration, not cartoony at all. Yes, Monica.
Monica,
100%. Yeah,
share.
we double shared there. Sorry.
Mhm.
Oh yes, yes. Yes, because there's kid mouth germs on every crossbar. Yeah, good point. I get you now. Now I'm listening. All right, so yeah, lots to regurg. I would say like big thing for me would be like um I regurg, and I've talked about this in our Animal Crossing episodes. There was a time where I switched over to Animal Crossing for my creative outlet because I just couldn't get myself motivated. I regret that time that I could have been building new stuff. I don't know if it's a healthy regret to hang on to, because during that time there was so much going on that was like keeping me down. I don't know if I could have done anything else. And I think Animal Crossing was kind of a life preserver to keep me being creative and like kind of um give me a creative outlet that if I couldn't walk into that Lego room, I couldn't at all. I was like, I'm done doing virtual shows. I'm done building in this small space. I'm done not seeing people. I'm done not collaborating. I'm done XYZ. If it wasn't for Animal Crossing, I think I might have lost my mind during that time. So I would drop that as a regret. Although in retrospect, now that like my mental capacity is back, I look at that and be like, man, I had a full year that I was playing Animal Crossing 12 plus hours a day, and that's not exaggerating. Um, that I could have been like investing in like building up the business I had just bought,
Yeah.
at least by having new creations that I could put on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or whatever I could at the time to like keep the community going. But again, I just don't think it was in my capability at the time with everything that we were all going through.
Yeah, imagine having started this live stream then. How different
Um,
would that have been?
I think it would have been ugly.
You would have been so mean to me.
I don't think I'd have been mean. I think I'd have cried a lot more than I do now. I think I would have
Yeah,
drank a lot more than I do now.
fair
Um,
enough.
I
Well, and for all of us, there was some trouble because
oh yeah,
for me, I was working from home. I didn't have an office. I was working downstairs here. So I have converted some of that space that used to
yeah,
have my office. I have a different office now to Lego storage space. And my space now, as much as it looks like a giant mess in here, it's
yeah.
actually more functional than it was then. I still have to put some stuff away to
Mhm.
build, but
Same.
it would have been maddening to come in here when my kids were on top of me all the time. We had to do virtual school stuff. My wife was working at the foot of our bed. I was working in the basement.
Mm.
You know,
Working on a bed, Z's wife, working on a bed is miserable. It's absolutely miserable. I'd
she was
take
on
so
video
many
calls too with our
when the
bed in the
basement
background.
when the basement flooded and there was like nowhere to go, and Matt was on the first floor and he's a government compliance attorney, so he had like confidential phone calls he had to have with people. So I had to go
Mhm.
upstairs, and it's like it's just alone on your legs. Like you're not meant to sit on a bed
And
for
and
prolonged
this
amount of time.
our basement down here, it was built in I want to say it was the 50s, the late 50s.
Mm,
So it has those big metal cast iron, well, not cast iron, steel posts or whatever they are,
not cast iron.
with the big long
Oh yeah,
joist,
for
right
cross
down the middle
cooking.
of the house all the way across.
Yeah.
And so I had to put up a couple of curtains down here to
Yes.
sort of contain the other half of
Yeah.
the basement when my kids would like come down and watch TV or something while I was
Oh God.
working. So I had
So
these big long curtains that were dividing the room that I'd screwed into the beam.
Ben, you've been
So
cited by the fact police here. Z spouse says, "Oh, she was not working on a bed. She had a desk at the end of the bed." Oh,
which
okay.
is what I
Oh, at
said.
least that.
So she's
You did? I
standing.
misunderstood.
She
I'm
was
sorry.
normally standing at the end of the
Good.
bed,
Good.
but it was right at the foot of the bed.
It's so bad for your legs to sit on a bed, by the way. But at the same time, I've done that too before in a past life, where it's like
She
then
actually
your
had a
bedroom.
chair right at the end of the bed for
Yeah,
a while. Now she's at a standing desk.
good. At least that.
Uh,
Well, it's like, but still, it's like that's. Is there really room in that? And you're in your
well,
bedroom
I'll say
for all
one
your
thing.
Zoom meetings.
One thing, it did mean our bed got made a lot more often.
I'm sure.
So that was it.
So collective trauma from the pandemic. We all went through it. Not everyone can identify that that might be causing some things now. I think it's something that everyone can do to kind of like help each other through certain things. Is like kind of acknowledge the fact that that was hard for everyone, and there are residual effects. Are for residual effects. Um, and one of those things for me is negativity, and I think that leads us to our next R. Am I right?
Ooh, yes, indeed. Look at that. You transitioned beautifully
Thank you.
to number 3. We're talking roasted.
And let's roast me for a second as well, because what I will say is I just read the headline from this, but that's part of the problem too. I found an article and I sent it to Ben that was it's this here. Let's just go. Lego's underwhelming Animal Crossing sets are out next March. Now, what are you going for here with this? Because it's actually not a terrible article. The way she wrote it was basically like, she had some negative things to say at first, but I think we're just going for like the clickbait of like, we hate it, rage with us, R for rage with us, right? And I think negative headlines get more attention than positive headlines. Have for a while, but especially so now uh, with everything we've been through. And here's my thing, as Lego fans, especially as huge nerds like this, like someone like me that's an Animal Crossing fan and a Lego fan, I am spoiled. I get everything I want. I was like, I had never played Animal Crossing before New Horizons, so I didn't have this rage that the Animal Crossing community had that there were certain things missing. But then when the 2.0 update came out, and just to real quick, real quick, if you're not playing Animal Crossing, um, they originally promised everybody monthly updates, like big updates every month to like keep the game going, but they released it in March of 2020. And that's when lockdown happened. So that's one of the reasons the game was so big, is because everyone was stuck at home. So they played this cozy life simulation game. And then the people who really knew the game were like, but Nintendo said they'd give us updates every month. Well, guess what? They couldn't come into the office. They they were not operating on their normal schedule because of the pandemic. And so those updates got pushed off. And then finally, in I think November of 2021, they came out with a giant update that kind of filled in everything that they were going to do along the way. And then they were like, also, we're done because it's been 2 years of pandemic. We're moving on to our next big thing. And so we can't put any more energy towards this. And then everyone just immediately was like, oh my God, this huge update is coming. And then it's like, wait, they also said it's their last big update. So we have the same thing with Lego. Like a lot of times we complain about things, but like we're so lucky because they do listen to fans and we get a lot of stuff. We get a ton of stuff from them. And it's like, I wish I myself would look at it more and like, where do we find the joy in what they are doing and what we do get? And like, how lucky are we to be able to be part of a fan community and a company that is providing us with so much and doing market research and really listening to fans. As much as it seems like sometimes they're not, they do. They can't always do everything that we want them to because of legal and marketing, but like they really do want to know what we're thinking. And we have so much more input now than they used. Our input gets much more weight now than it did, say, 10, 15 years ago. They've really realized that the adult fan community is huge for sales, and they listen to us a lot more now than they did. We are so lucky. We're very lucky. And so I don't like seeing this sort of thing happen where, and this is nothing against the woman who wrote this. I just don't like seeing this is how we interact with our brands anymore. So it's not a terrible article. It's just that they decided
Well,
to
what do you
go
think?
ahead.
Not just the title, but then the subtitle. Tom Nook is here to steal your bells once again.
I know it's dark and it's
A
snarky as
little
hell.
bit.
And
A
like, and
little
we'll
bit.
get to it because I don't necessarily disagree with the sentiments that she put out in the article. they are somewhat underwhelming. They are also very exciting at the same time. It's not perfect. I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to be a huge like proponent of the Animal Crossing line and be like, yes, everyone should get it. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm going to buy all of them. But I'm not overly excited, but I am impressed by what they decided to release in the first wave. It was better than I expected based on the piece counts and the price points.
Yeah.
Monica Berry says she feels like Lego is really restraining themselves and testing the waters with the Animal Crossing sets. I'm going to get to that. And I'm going to compare it to, in case I forget what I mean when I say I'm going to get to it, I want to compare it to the first wave of Mario. But if they do, well, I hope they will go hog wild with it. Me too. Because they went hog wild with Mario. I'm like the 18 plus sets that they're coming out with.
Yeah.
So, she spends this first paragraph kind of like trashing it, that they're too expensive, even for Lego. She puts in, um, and that it's like, let's see, what was the, older collectors out there might not be too fussed. I mean, that's not even a specific criticism, and it's also very British. So I'm imagining that she's British. I may be wrong. Apologies to Olsen if I am. Um, but
So
then
we're
down
neighbor in
here,
there. Look for the U. Find the U.
Here it is. We even have the same point. They're quite a simple collection of sets and don't feel quite as Nintendo. Oh wait, as Lego's Mario sets, which I disagree with because there's different Nintendo aspects. These were designed by different designers. These are the first round of Animal Crossing sets, and considering how popular both Lego and the Nintendo series are, there's sure to be more. Thank you. Yes, that's a positive outlook, and I feel the same way. I think they're only going to get better. Again, based on the first wave of Mario, which I had open, but I had to restart to try to fix my internet. Hopefully, it's going better. I'm hearing you better now, Ben, than I was before I restarted. Goes on to like, oh, and by pounds. So yeah, she's definitely British.
Mhm.
Um, and then she's generally positive about it. And then she makes the same point I make, where she's like, look, last year we got the giant Bowser and like incredibly good and Easter egg filled sets. Like, well, the question block specifically, but like,
Yep.
um, my bet is on a full Animal Crossing museum, but we'll have to just like, she has this positive outlook. So this whole thing kind of like makes me angry in general, not because she had a job and she wrote a review, but because I feel like this is all kind of our attitude towards things. And I'm certainly trying, because I've definitely been guilty of this, of just being so pessimistic since what we went through with the pandemic. But I do want to say, as far as this goes, she's mostly right in what she says. She gets a little trashy here at the beginning. Yes, we all hate Tom Nook, but this is kind of a dig at the Lego group for kind of bringing their prices too high. And yeah, I think specifically the Nook's Crossing and Rosie's House set are a bit overpriced. We know the piece count is high. It's 500 pieces for $75. But let's take a look at.
Yeah, it's some Star Wars sets and some of
Mhm.
the city sets right now too. I
And it's
mean,
an IP.
we talked about that
It's
price per part.
definitely the Friends Otter set.
Yep.
I'll
Yep.
never let that go. I'm so mad.
Yep.
Where is it? Is it Nintendo? Where's Mario? All right, kids. Sorry to do this to you.
Super
Mario.
Super Mario.
Oh, thank you, sir.
It's
Superheroes,
down,
Super
down. There it is.
Mario. All right, so I had this ready to go by the first year, but now I have to. All right, so this was our first set, right?
The
2020.
starter course. Yeah.
Yeah, look. I mean, compared to what they're doing now, this is underwhelming. This is basic. Like,
That's
what
pretty
is this
that is
representing?
that is lame. Not gonna lie. I mean, of course, they're focusing on the play features, but like
Hmm.
the actual quality of the set
Yeah,
is pretty low here.
yeah. And so I think we got one really good set that year. I mean, but even look at this now. The Bowser
The
Castles.
Bowser Castle.
Yes,
Compare that to the Dry Castle that they have out this year.
exactly. Where is that? Thank you.
Um,
Filling in all the spots from here. Here, I'll get it down here. Um, all the spots in my brain.
this is, maybe we should like actually talk about what we're gonna talk about before we start the stream. Then I wouldn't have to steal from you. But
Hey, we're finally only at 2 hours, and we can actually probably end it soon. Um,
well, we got one more topic to go through. Yeah, while you're looking that up,
Thank
um,
you.
we do have. So the other thing that this roasted topic, sort of based on what you were talking about here.
Yeah.
Um, there's a whole subculture of people who are really into either insulting, or
Yeah.
being insulted.
Yes.
And so one of the other things that I do, this might surprise nobody, is I build my own computers, right? Hence the reason I had a Gudamine computer. Hence the
Mhm.
reason I have a spaceship with a computer inside it. But they also sometimes refer to building your own computer as adult Lego, because they're part pieces. You put them together, you just sort of click them all together, and that's all you have to do. As long as the parts that you get all fit together, you'll have a good time, right? But then they have people who go outside of that, who are on a budget or do something weird. And there's a whole subculture of people who want to be roasted by their YouTube celebrity creators. They want them to say how terrible their setup is, or how janky their computer build is, right?
Gross.
So it's like a whole thing.
But you
Like
kind of do
people
that
are
to
really
read,
into
right?
it. So what's that?
You kind of do that to read on Friday Night Bricks, don't you?
I troll him,
Yeah,
but it's a little different.
it's a little
I'm
gross.
not roasting him so
Not
much as
you.
I don't say anything mean about him. I just talk trash about Castle in general.
Yeah.
That's a little different since I secretly love Castle. But yeah, it's like a whole subculture of like, say something mean about what I'm showing you.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. Did you find the dry castle?
I did. I do have them both here for comparison. Not remove. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thanks.
There's the first one.
Here's the first one, and here's the latest. I mean, they made these for the Peach Castle as well. These roofs. We're seeing a lot of like unique pieces made just for this. Getting a lot more. Look at these giant chains.
The giant chains.
Obviously
Yeah.
they stole this from Tim Lighty from our ship build this year. Um, but I mean, they're definitely getting better. And let's real quick, let's take a look at what we're actually getting from the Animal Crossing sets. Hold on, a little crazy. Um, I mean,
Isabel's house. I
just
saw it.
this set alone, it's like this isn't anything to write home about for a Lego collector, right? If you're just into Lego, you might love these molds. There might be something in here that is like the way you build, and that's great. But for the first wave of Animal Crossing, there's all sorts of amazing things in here that are really reminiscent of the game. They're going along with the Nintendo, the connecting modular base plates, so you can configure these any way that you want. And they are giving us the first Nintendo minifigures, and that's what the entire game is about. Like that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest crossover possibility for Animal Crossing is all of these um, characters in the game. There's like 300 some odd characters in the game that you can actually have in your village, let alone the NPCs. What'd you bring up there from Monica Berry? I don't mean to.
Monica was saying that she felt like maybe the focus was mostly on the minifigs this first round. There may
Mm-hmm.
be a few new molds, but it's
Yep.
mostly about the minis, which might very well be true.
Yeah,
It was similar for
that's fair.
Mario as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
They
agreed.
slowly introduced more printed tiles, and of course just incorporated new parts that happen to also work with the sets.
Well, in just this
So
set, we've got one printed tile here, the one printed tile here, the DIY recipe, and whatever this is that he's learning to sing from KK Slider. But we also have unique minifig torsos and obviously head molds. But like the minifig torsos are going to be huge in this line because one of the big things that you can do in the game is buy clothing for your villagers. So we have a lot of capability for Lego fans to get new torsos if they like creating their own custom characters for whatever. There's going to be a lot of that. We don't have a. I noticed this. We don't have an Animal Crossing link on the shopping page quite yet, so I can't easily get back to them, which does upset me a little bit. I think this one's going to be huge because it comes with Isabelle. Everybody loves Isabelle. They have their old. Their torsos are from New Leaf, which everyone's all geeked out about all the different versions of Animal Crossing. But we do see things like this with the printed tile that has like one of the symbols from the game where you know something's buried in the ground. Has the fossil. Has the Nook phone. has again these two unique torsos, the very unique head molds, of course. But look at this. I mean, they'll probably use this in quite a few places. That root piece, the base of the tree.
Yep.
So they do have unique molds already made for this. The big one for me, I'm geeked out about, are these windows.
The windows.
Super unique. This is a door that already exists. Am I wrong?
Well, it's not exactly a door that already exists.
Oh, really?
Because I think that door,
Mm-hmm.
you can insert a latticed style window into it, but I don't
Oh,
think
you're
it's
right.
made with that style of
The chunky.
crosscut window.
All right, we should check. All right.
It could be elsewhere. I don't know, but the one I think of when I see kind of that rounded door with those thick hinges,
Yeah.
has a different window design, and it's
Yeah,
in
I think
brown,
you're
reddish
right.
brown a lot.
I think you are right, and I think they're doing this so they can make a lot of different custom houses and kind of work with um, encouraging you to build your own custom houses, which is something exciting for me because Lego hasn't done that for a long time. I think they're going to have some like interactive stuff online. Again, I'm imagining things. I'm telling myself a story here that they'll be doing some more of this stuff for the big Lego building fans. Is like showing you how to take these exact pieces and make different color houses because the game is all about that. The game is all about customizing your own designs and being expressive. I wish this.
Well, and it looked like the Isabel's house, they had two different sets of windows. Yeah, here too. They have both
Yep.
the pink square windows as well as the orange rounded over window.
And I hope we see more of that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about with this, is that they'll be doing more like customization options. To be honest, I agree that these are somewhat underwhelming, and that Nick's cranny and Rosie's house here. I mean, the roofs suck. To be completely honest, I mean, you can see the mechanism that's tilting it here. For the tiles that they have on their houses in the game, this is not a great representation. It's also not a beautiful roof. I wouldn't be happy with this if I was building a mock and that's how my roof ended up, right?
Yeah, it's not wonderful. You're not wrong.
There's definitely room to grow. I don't think this watering can mold is new, is it?
It is not. It is not new.
It's got a Fabian piece. It's got two of them, the lamppost and the umbrella.
Yep.
The original Fabian umbrella didn't have a stud in the center. They probably changed that lamppost too, but holding on to my heart here. Where did we lose the comments? How are we doing on those? Because I've said enough about this. I think that's all we needed to roast somebody who I didn't really roast. But she was just doing her job. It's probably more the editor.
Didn't even know a rounded door existed outside of Fabio under Belleville. Well, here it is. This is the one I was thinking of.
Yes. And
so it's similar.
You're right.
But not the same.
It's not squared off at the top.
Yep.
Thank you. I was just about to do that.
It's got this here where you can insert a latticed window or a bar window. And then this wood structure is a little different. It also has the keyhole that the Lego key can actually fit into if you're into that for some reason.
And it kind of shows, let me see. Kind of shows you, they did a little video of.
And Monica confirms the watering can came from friends.
Okay. Yeah, because it doesn't look like the watering can in the game. So I didn't think it was like something that they were.
It's a watering can. Is the watering can super iconic?
Yeah, it's one of the tools you have in the game to do certain things.
Yeah, but they also had.
All right, already made my point. Yeah, you're supposed to be able to switch the windows.
They're switching the windows out. Yep.
Yeah, which is cool. I hope we see a lot more. There's all sorts of customization options in the game, and so it really does kind of lend itself to Lego to make more and more pieces like that, and I hope we do see it. I do wonder, based on the person we were to roast about that article, if we're going to shoot, sorry, I did this.
Is that what it is?
It's this. Hold on. There we
There
go.
it is.
I can also do
He
this.
shoots out balloons. Rock on.
Rock the F
Lasers.
on. That's right.
Lasers.
I think this is something too, right? Hold on. Come on. Fireworks. And also just
Yeah.
do this one. Right, where is it? There it is. Hey, what's
Oh,
up? What were you talking about? I would like to see what 18 plus sets look like for Animal Crossing. Like, obviously, you can have a giant Bowser, but there's not really giant characters in the game. There's some furniture items that are like huge, but I don't know if they're common enough for people to want to buy a Lego set of them. I think if we see anything that's going to be like, I think she's right in that article that we'd see a museum, but you also want it to be in scale with everything else you can play with. Like we talked about with the piranha plant. Like the piranha plant doesn't necessarily fit
yeah.
in with things. I can see like doing an Animal Crossing tree. Maybe.
Do you, when you first get to your island, do you take like a specific boat or airship or something that's
A biplane.
okay? All right.
Yeah. Monica agrees with me. UCS Museum. Let's see it.
It's probably the most likely, it sounds like, based on what I know about the thing.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
and scan your amoeba.
Amiibo.
Your amoeba. Scan your amoeba for some free bells or something.
It's all like disease spreading.
Yeah.
For some free bells.
Well,
No, it's how you invite certain villagers to your island.
yeah.
Come on, Ben.
Let's get pure silliness here.
Oh, let's
do
all right.
Are you blank? Okay, it starts with R, so I'm gonna start. Mark, are you only paying attention to football because of your fantasy teams because the Bears and Vikings suck?
I am barely paying attention to my fantasy teams. They were both auto drafted because I was in Italy during the drafts, and I have no idea what's going on this year. I opened one of my fantasy teams today, and one of them was out in the first quarter, and one of them was on injured reserve where he was just questionable yesterday. And I was like, all right. I put in 2 days worth of like, not 2 days, but on 2 separate days this week, I spent like an hour like picking up new players and dropping and like doing the research on the stats and stuff. And I was just like, I just don't have it in me this year. I won the championship in that league this year that I'm talking about. Like 2 of my players are out. So I have 0 for 2 of my players. Also, did the Bears win today?
Do the Bears ever win anymore?
Yeah, they've won 1 this season.
Vikings have won twice only because they played the Bears.
And did the Bears win today?
Are you
Googling it.
upset with Realgar for saying this?
Oh, they won 30-12.
Who'd they play?
The Raiders.
Okay.
And
Pack go from Realgar.
And if you really want to be a Packers fan, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not upset with that. Ben.
Yeah.
Are you excited about any upcoming Lego Star Wars sets?
Star Wars. Well, I think that the Venator is cool. I don't have it.
Yeah.
Usually what's kind of interesting is they have a few things that I thought were really cool in some of the cartoons and offshoot lines that I thought, man, that would make a really cool set that they never have done. And it seems like they go back to the original trilogy way more than any of that stuff. And I'm sure it sells better, right? And it's more nostalgic. So
really?
The Pack did not beat the Broncos
They lost to the Broncos?
Yeah, they're getting beat up by their old friend Russell Wilson.
I feel like Lego Star Wars has a bit of a what would you call it? Somewhat of a vacuum for set selling, because only diehard fans are going to be into what they're doing with the cartoons and with like
Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a couple of of things though from those lines that go across multiple multiple properties.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm thinking in particular, let me look it up here, is this set. I think it's a
Do
really
our research.
interesting.
Live research.
Um, uh,
Packers lost to the Broncos. I love this.
so there's this one particular ship that was really cool. They made one version of it,
Yeah.
but I think they could have done a lot better with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Coruscant, but I'm trying to figure out.
Coruscant Air Taxi.
Oh, it was like a gunship.
Okay.
If I just look up gunship, of course, I'm gonna get a bunch of other ship stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've used it in several different variants now. Here it is, the Coruscant Police Gunship. So let me pull this thing up, and maybe you'll appreciate sort of the interesting look to this.
Oh, I mean, I
So
like
this came
this.
out during the Clone Wars line.
Mm-hmm.
There's like this hunt for Ahsoka in the Clone Wars line. But this particular gunship has now shown up in Ahsoka, the TV series, and a number of other ones in the more Imperial colors instead of the interesting sort of space police red canopy look.
Right.
Like this kind of ship is really cool. They've only done this version of it.
Yeah.
So I would like them to get into some of these more unique designs and not just give me another X-wing, right?
Oh, Realgar
But
says that their
I don't know.
record is still better than Denver, but they lost to the worst record in the league, didn't they, Realgar? So Ben, let me ask you a follow-up.
Yeah.
Are you disappointed that Lego isn't producing their own original space-themed line?
Well, I mean, it's so they've had that problem with both. So
Mhm.
probably the three themes that I'm most invested in are castle, space, and pirates.
Yeah.
Two of those, or maybe even all three of those, at one point were an evergreen theme, and
Yeah.
now they're not. How can they be an evergreen theme if you stop producing them?
Right.
Um,
They
so
certainly
yeah,
changed the
I
model over
struggle
the
with all
years.
three of those.
Well, and they like they've had to respond to the toy market, right? They can't keep those evergreen themes if they're not
Yeah.
evergreen. If they're
Well,
not
I mean,
getting that,
right. Clearly, the research has told them that
yeah,
market tie-in to a theme, to an
mhm,
intellectual property is better. They still produce city sets,
they do
but they are, and we've talked about this, trying to
create
spice some of that up by doing their own tie-ins.
their own IPs. Yeah,
So, I mean, I think they've kind of determined that that's the way it kind of goes. That being said, though, Lego has been doing fan service more so, and we talked about this
agreed,
too. They
agreed.
reduced Lion Knight's castle. They created a Creator 3-in-1 for a castle. So they are still producing things. We also got a pirate ship. The ideas sets, of course, are a lot of times very nostalgic. So we are still getting things. They're just one every 3 years now instead of, you know, 12 every 2 years or 6 every year.
So Cody
So
Pervian says that he's expecting this to return in fall of 2024 with some Thrawn troopers.
could be that set could come up with some Thrawn troopers that was in
Then
there. And those Thrawn troopers were interesting.
are definitely excited, and Realgar confirms what I just said. Yeah, can't wait. I can't wait to get to the end of Ahsoka because I've only watched the first episode. But I love me some Timothy Zahn universe, and I am looking forward to seeing how his characters work his way into the canon. It's going to be hard for me to watch because I really love the way he set up the new universe. I wasn't a huge fan of the third book in his first trilogy because it was just kind of like repeating the steps of the original trilogy and everything was all happy at the end. Um,
Yeah.
but I
You're
really like
you're
the
an heir
characters
to
that
the Empire kind of guy.
Heir to the Empire and Dark Force Rising. Dark Force Rising was a great book. What was the last one even called? Nobody knows. Nobody cares.
Me neither.
Um, I'm sure the Tainted will pipe up in a
They
minute.
probably know.
So, all right, your turn. Am I what?
Are you going to buy all of the Animal Crossing sets on day
Yeah.
one?
On day one, I don't know. I mean, just because like I don't have like the timeline for that. Like I'll be like, oh, there they are. I'll get them. It's not like something I'm the last command. Yeah. Thank you, Yalgar. Um, I mean, maybe I'll make maybe that'll be a fun thing for me to do and like reignite my passion for like buying sets is on March 1st or like probably let's be honest, February 22nd. I'll like find my way into a Target and like pick them up because they're going to be on shelves early, right?
Well, they're usually okay. So Target will not necessarily sell them to you early. Walmart will,
Walmart.
but
Okay.
just
Well,
make sure you don't go to the WalMarts in my area where they're behind the glass.
right.
So
They're like, hi, can I get these sets?
yeah, please
Um,
release these sets to me, sir.
I I I
40-year-old
do
man would like 41-year-old man would like to buy all your Animal Crossing sets if you wouldn't mind.
I do want to get them all. Yeah, absolutely. I won't like build them. I'll take the figures out and then I'll, sort the pieces in. But I am excited to see what else they're going to come out with. This is the first time, like, again, this is the first time in a long time where I've been like, what's the second wave of Animal Crossing going to look like? What's the second wave of Dreams going to look like? Can we get some leaks on Dreams already? Because I would like to
Are
see
you checking the leaks?
why are there new ones?
Well, no, I haven't seen any. I'm just asking. Are you checking leaks regularly right now?
No, are
Okay.
you?
I do and I don't. I kind of go in waves when I'm bored. I was really busy this week, so I haven't. But
Hey,
last week I saw some of the things that they're claiming they're coming out with.
really?
So
Who's that and who's they? Hey, we have a new tainted joining us. FRS Ninja 007. Wow, that's a lot going on there. Says, "Hi, what's up?"
hey, we're just hanging out, talking about Lego, thinking outside the blocks. That's what we're doing.
Thank you for joining us, FRS Ninja 007.
Like and subscribe.
Yep, smash
Yep.
that subscribe button.
Punch it right in its face.
Let's see some Ninjago leaks. Yeah, we have a request. Ben, Google the Ninjago leaks for us. Find something new.
I'm a looking because they have said, right, that they're coming
Yeah.
out with a new Tower of Orthanc
Yes.
is
Yes. You talked about that with Jesse, which was
I did.
surprising to me as well. I said me too when you guys were like surprised that they're re-releasing this set.
Yeah.
Was it a good seller? Make a lot of death boats out of that. Party ship of the dead
Yeah, I don't know.
with all those black pieces. Um, Joel and Child says, I want the dreams sets to match the series better. Give the Night Hunter a hook for a hand. A Zion build that actually looks similar to the character, etc. God, I should check out a couple of episodes of this show if it's that fun. I trust John to know. I think she has good taste in fun stuff. Cody says, I always find the best leaks on Instagram from accounts that last 2 days before they're banned. FRS
Right.
Ninja 007 says, Zion is a hard build. What is Dreams Zion? We're going to have to look this up. Because I don't know what my voice just did, but I'm just like, these words, I have no bearing on them, and I'd like to know. Husband left. All right. Good to know. What?
Let's see here. Avengers Tower, we've already seen pictures
All
of
right, I'll
that
have to throw
actually.
the word Lego in here to. I love the live Googling that's happening right now. Hopefully, you guys find this interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean
don't
they've
have
got
anything.
some word on some more dream sets.
Oh, no, he has
Um,
not left. Hey, give me 1 second. I'm going to solo you. I'll
okay.
be right back.
So I think the ones that we've heard about, but we haven't actually seen, probably close your eyes if you don't want spoilers. But the modular is in theory going to be a history museum, a natural history museum. So that one's kind of been leaked for a while now that's out, that's going to be out. And actually, it's not. Oh, okay, that's probably the correction. It's not Orthanc. It's going to be Bardur. So it's the Aya Sauron Tower. So that's sort of the other big leak that we keep hearing is coming. The other one I've heard is sort of a strange, strange, not really in a lot of Star Wars canon. It's the Invisible Hand that they're claiming they're going to be making, which was General Grievous's ship. It was like the first set ever. Not the first set, the first ship ever in Star Wars canon to have an ion cannon, I think was sort of its big claim to fame. They did have a version, I think, of the Invisible Hand a long time ago. I'm guessing we must be closing in on an anniversary for Phantom Menace. So we might see some Phantom Menace and some Clone Wars type things coming out in the next couple years. Maybe that'll be a bit of a push. So, that could be interesting. Maybe I'll get my wish for a few sort of off-brand Lego sets in the Star Wars line that maybe have some different colors. But who knows what exactly that will be. So let's see here if we have any comments here. Apparently there's a Fortnite polybag.
What?
I haven't seen that, but apparently there is one. Seems a little strange.
Fortnite. Just a potty bag?
Apparently I haven't seen it yet. Let's see here. Real Guy is excited for a natural history museum to be the UCS. To be the modular.
I'm a bit shook by that because if that is the modular, I can't imagine that we're going to get an Animal Crossing museum anytime soon if they're going to release a museum as the modular, especially a natural history museum, because that's mostly what's in. Well, it's 1/4 of what's in the Animal Crossing museum. So I'm a little upset by that news. I hope it's not true. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. Let's see. The only other one that I see in here, and some of these, who knows how legit some of the rumors are, but a lot of them from.
Are the Mixels coming back? Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
Monica says her son would like to see him brought back. I would too, actually. They have unique colors and parts in unique colors, and then they, the Mixel joints. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's make these double jointed.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the rumors that you see have been fairly reliable.
Oh, who's got talking about pessimism? FRS Ninja 007 says that most dragon creatures are hard to recreate. Sounds like a challenge. Joellen Child says, I love the Mixels and use them in her Halloween village. Absolutely.
Of course she does.
Says, in the meantime, there was an internal survey about a year ago that leaked a lot of preliminary images, confidential watermarks and all. And the leakers have reclaimed that several sets from that are coming in springs. From that? What's that? Fortnite?
I haven't seen anything on Fortnite, but
how's your Google doing on that? Let's see.
I've just seen the normal stuff, all the things that I've sort of expected to hear.
Like the Lego ideas, like I'm in a Fortnite set.
Yeah, Polaroid camera, apparently.
Wait, what's this? We need 10 FAQs about. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so many people put up their MOCs with like fake boxes.
Yeah. Yeah, I stay away from that.
More Fortnite Lego details leak online. I'll check this out. You check out some more comments. Let's see.
All right.
This is from October 9th.
That's fairly recent. So the big rumor for Star Wars is that they have 24 that the waves for 24 have 25th anniversary bonus figures. 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace, I suppose.
Fives is the only confirmed one. What's Fives?
I think he is one of the clones.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Number is 55555.
Like he went to the So,
and Monica confirms there's no rumor that she knows about on the Mixels, just something he would like.
So this is what
And Cody will show you some pictures.
oh, cool. Yeah, message me on Discord. I'll put them up on here. If you don't want me to, just tell me in Discord that you don't want me to. But this is what Game Rant always does. This like they bullet point the entire article. Rumors of a crossover between Fortnite and Lego are gaining traction, with leaked information suggesting that Lego sets could hit stores early in 2024. The partnership between Fortnite and Lego makes sense given their shared focus on building. Yeah, you build in Fortnite? And their appeal to a wide range of age groups. Agreed. That's why Animal Crossing is cool, right? Collaboration could involve a massive Lego event within the game. Ooh, that'd be fun. With a special in-game event possibly taking place. Why are there people jumping into ice water beneath this article? Like, what's that thing?
That's a commercial.
I know that. I hate ads. Game rants, not as bad
For
as brick
Amazon.
sets. Not as bad as brick set.
Yeah.
Collaboration could involve a massive Lego event within the game, with a special in-game event possibly taking place in November to kick off the Lego update. Sorry, my brain was pushing in here. I hope there's actual evidence for this in the article. If you want to read the rest of this, I'm not going to read the entire article to you right now. You're welcome. Game Rant is the name of the website. Fortnite Lego Leak is the search term to get yourself there, or you can just look at this literal URL here and get yourself there yourselves if you want to see more about the possibilities of that. Because obviously Ben and I don't know. Do you play Fortnite, Ben?
No. My kids don't either, thankfully.
Yeah.
Play plenty of other mind-numbing stuff, but they don't play that.
I forgot to check Discord. I didn't hear a sound. So FRS Ninja 007 says, recently built a 5,685 set after dropping it. I'm sorry, buddy. Hopefully you had fun doing it. Try and guess what set. Oh man, I don't feel like playing the game. Is this like the Saw movie? Like if I don't guess. Omega says if Fortnite rumors are true, my kid will love them. I think people are going to lose their minds if there's a Lego Fortnite crossover, because that was another big one during the pandemic as well.
You know, and I don't play Fortnite.
You do build in it.
I don't know that I care about anything there. However, some of their characters, and I think they have a bunch of them, do have interesting pieces.
Well, judging by the fake
So
sets that I saw, I wouldn't be uninterested in seeing this built as a line if they make some that like the flying bus, the pizza pit, the giant gas tanker, the helicopter is even cool. There's a lot of really cool settings from this.
do you want to show that on the screen?
Oh, sure. I guess I do.
That's okay.
Oh, hey, yeah. Thank you. I was like, how do I do that again? All this. Look at this.
Helicopter.
Look how fun. It's very Ninjago-y like. If you could actually build modular cities like this, I thought that was cool, like a river hideout. I know there's all sorts of like characters. Oh, it's Nick.
Yeah.
But that looks like fun.
Yeah, I mean these aren't even leaks. These are something else.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're leaks. I'm saying this would be fun.
Yeah.
Fortnite Jumbo Llama Pinata. Where was the one? Yeah, this is very interesting. I built a version of this for Bricks 101, not knowing what it was. He was like, "Can you do this for me for one of my walkthroughs?" And I was like, "Sure." But it's cool in context. Where was the picture? It's like something your team takes to go from like site to site. This entire like the tilted towers. Like if there's landscape and stuff like this. Huh? Why is that the picture for that? Sorry. Is that Fortnite? I don't even know. Anyway, I would accept this. You know what? I was surprisingly disappointed that they didn't do more with that. That one game with the mechs.
Overwatch.
Yeah, I like those sets. I regret not buying those sets. I didn't buy a single one of them, but I thought they were
did.
cool.
I bought them.
I bet you did because they're all.
They didn't. Well, they so there's. I'm guessing part of the reason for that maybe twofold.
Omega, I want Llama Pinata. I have no idea about the game. I want a Llama Pinata as soon as possible. Anyway, Ben, did not interrupt.
I'm guessing twofold issues. One,
okay.
Blizzard, Activision is the owner of Overwatch, and their CEO got in trouble a bunch of times for being a horrible human.
Okay.
And then eventually Microsoft entered to purchase Activision Blizzard. And I don't know if Microsoft killed it, but that recently went through, and there was some struggle with the European Union approving it, and they recently did. So now Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard King. They also own
Yikes.
King for, $70 billion or some crazy amount of money.
Well, that's
So
deep. Omega, you got to know how to parent. It sounds like you're doing a great job. Star Wars Battlefront sounds much healthier than Fortnite from some of the images I'm pulling up now as I scroll deeper. FRS Ninja 007 says, I was talking about the Ninjago City Gardens. I actually have it upstairs.
don't drop that.
I was going to guess that first, but I just didn't feel like searching Lego sets by piece count. Sorry. My brain's in too many different directions during this. Cody says that Overwatch had some internal, yes, has been explained to us. Yeah, but come on. Oh, you DM me several pics. Hey, I closed Discord. That's why I didn't know. Because I restarted my computer. See if it's Discord that was killing it. Cody, do you mind if I share these? I think you told me in Discord. How are the comments doing down there?
Joe Ellen says,
I did not know that. I did
your
not know
wife
that
still
was
hates that your kid plays Fortnite. And Omega says, Joe Ellen child.
Are you guys not in the same room? Oh, got him. All right, cool. Oh, cool.
Well,
Oh, let me see. Oh, okay. So I can't share these. All right, kids, ready?
all
It's
right, here we
apparently
go.
happening.
2 different floors. They're not even in the same room, not even on the same floor.
Wait, let me reshare, Ben, because I have the wrong screen up.
Real
Presenter.
Car says, never run Discord and StreamYard at the same time. It will shut your computer down. I'm assuming is that what that was supposed to say.
Well,
I don't know if that's true or not.
StreamYard, Fortnite, Ben Hauger, applications, Fortnite, Lego, Google search. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right, let's check it out.
It's adorable.
So this is a
Yeah,
leaked image.
that one
Well,
we
that
know
looks
about
like
that one.
Disney, right? Am I wrong?
That one,
That's the
yeah,
Seven Dwarfs one.
Seven Doors one. And the one before is the Tim Lighty special.
I know, right? It's nowhere
I
near
hope
as
they
good
don't
as
hope they don't actually make that one.
I hope they don't make it like this.
Yeah. Hope they don't
Looks
make it,
awful.
period.
It's kind of ridiculous. This is Harry Potter.
Yep. We've already seen
That's
something like that several times. That's the Sorting Hat.
Yep, of course.
Harry Potter.
Gotham.
City, that has been a rumor.
Okay. Well, there's a really awful image of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to put up so many leaks. I thought we were just going to look at Fortnite. Apparently, I looked too fast.
Another sail barge.
Yeah, but why is it so blank?
I don't know.
Why is my voice doing that?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
I don't know anything.
Hey, there's your Orthanc.
Yeah, it's actually, I think, Bardur or something like that. But yeah. Why are they doing it? I have no idea.
Look at this. Oh my God, look. I'm excited about that. That's beautiful. That's really well done.
That's from Legend of Zelda.
Hey, I hope we don't lose our monetization because we're posting leaked pictures.
We're monetized?
No, but I hope we don't lose it eventually.
Okay.
We're having it on there once we're monetized. If you don't mind, hit the comments while I'm doing this.
Bardur. You got to say it right. Bardur.
What's this?
That's supposedly the supposedly a new medieval market type thing.
All right, let's talk about this because I see a
supposed to be
goat.
some goats. Yep.
I see a goat and a cat and a cow and a calf and some beehives. This would be cute. How many leaked images have you seen that prove to be fakes in your life, would you say?
I see a decent number, but lately when they look like this, they tend to be credible, which is kind of why I struggle with some of this.
It's been a damn long time. I would say, let's say at least 5 years since I have looked at a leaked image like this, and unfortunately, I'm doing it live on YouTube. Castle
Jesse.
Bull.
Jesse's helping me troll Reed right now.
Yeah, he's trolling
Jesse.
us the way you troll Reed.
Well, I know. Here's the difference. I'm completely aware of it.
Okay. This would be exciting.
This has been rumored for a while, though. So we'll see if this comes out in 2024. There's a couple of things about this in particular that lend some credence to it. The castle tower wall over there
Yeah.
matches very closely the one from the Lion Knight's castle.
I don't feel great about this, to be honest, that we're doing this.
So
I thought we were going to look at Fortnite leaks. Not like that'd be any different.
we got off track.
We did. We are for really got off track. However, as long as it's up, as long as we're already doing this, is that olive green on those buildings to the right?
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, I hope this is like a super preliminary because
It's olive. I think it's olive green and tan, dark tan.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah. This would be fun. I'd buy it. I'd buy it as is, right? For a parts pack because I don't build sets, so easy for me to say, oh, hey, let's look at these comments. Monica Berry, so do I. So this is very strange for me to like come into this space where I'm like posting them on a live stream with a brand that's associated with Lego. Sorry if they're watching. We didn't mean to. We'll take it down. Yep. Cody says allegedly these were in a survey and the AFOLs were asked how much they would pay for these. $95.
95. You needed the piece count. How would you know?
But
that's just
I'm
us.
just kind of ballparking. I'm just kind of like weighing it in my mind. Realgar says, I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't either. Who saw what?
Nothing.
Neither did I. Jesse also says, thanks for getting me through build time. Hey, you're welcome. Our Eurobricks call got me through build time earlier. Made me realize I really couldn't find the pieces I was looking for. Cody, no worries, man. No worries. I did this to myself.
Yeah. You notice when it was me and Jesse, we got through all of our topics in about 2 hours. R is for ramble.
I was proud of us for like, I thought we were 10 minutes away from finishing up, but we are at 2 hours and 45 minutes.
This is the way we operate.
So you know what? We can just be responsible and cut the next 15 minutes of rambling. Unless you have something else you want to share.
Why? We can ramble all we want.
I know, that's true.
Let's see here. Well,
by the way, average 3-hour streams.
That's true. We have been doing that more frequently. We were on Are You Blank? Our chat wasn't giving us any RUs. So I want to know, are you into leaks?
Right.
And you've said no. What about the chat?
I love Cody. Cody showed me this for a while, and I am so ready to be done with the season so I can like kind of fall down this YouTube hole. Talking about Isabel and the Doom characters. Oh, it was joyful. He showed me like one YouTube video on the floor at Brick World Fort Wayne. I was like, I'm ready for this because I love me some Isabel. I just want her to have a bigger role in the game of Animal Crossing New Horizons. She doesn't. She just sits at the desk and like does some basic like facilitating. I would love to see her be the husband. I'm sorry, the wife of one of the characters from Doom.
And Joanne asks, responding to our question, are you into leaks? She says only the new Winter Village set. So that's the only time she pays attention to leaks, apparently. But Realgar has one for us. Are you already preparing for Brickworld Chicago 2024?
Oh,
that
no.
Depends. That depends on what you mean by that.
We start in like late May, early June. Really not a lot to do for that show.
That's about when I start building for the Eurobricks collab.
We're drowning in preparing for that show.
I've already got a ship built.
When we're ready to announce news about it. No, I'm sorry. We do have some exciting announcements coming up. One of which is we're opening registration for Chicago. I originally said November 13th, but that's a Monday. And everyone in marketing knows that you should release news on a Tuesday. So we pushed it back to November 14th. And we are working on a multiple year contract with the current venue so that we don't lose that venue, basically. And we're working on making the show possible there and letting it have room to grow too. So we'll have exciting news over the next 7 months.
Yeah.
And we might
Monica
announce it
thinks he was just
tomorrow.
asking about MOCs, but I don't think so. I think it was just in general.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so because I announced that anyway. But the answer is we can't tell you anything yet either way. But hopefully we'll have some exciting stuff to announce. Like I said, it might be tomorrow, it might be in July of 2024. We're working on stuff and working on making it better, and it's all very involved. So, but stick with us because we care about the AFOL community. So,
And when we get closer to showtime, the stream will talk more about getting ready for going to Chicago as well.
and I think that's when we're really going to be able to show you what we originally intended with this live stream is like the criticism and or the I'm sorry, constructive criticism and like the quick turnaround and like how to like build for a show and how to like package. Like we'll definitely get into that. It'll be fast and dirty and it'll probably start around like March or April. But we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. Ben, do you plan for the year? Like do you plan your months out? Like do you have like an idea of what you'll be able to finish before the next Brick World comes up?
I start figuring that out in about February when I look back and say, "Gosh, I don't have enough done." And then I do
Yeah.
start saying, "Okay, I'm gonna finish this by this time, this by this time," and then I got to fit in the Eurobricks build, which I inevitably haven't started yet. And then
I took the biggest section
I know you
of
did.
the one
I was there.
section. I felt a little pushed into it, but I was like, "Hey, maybe you can help me with this and you can help me with this." Because
That's
I'm like,
okay.
I understand why I have that section because it goes on last and I'll probably be done last. But I think like one thing that I think will be fun for us to do this year is kind of like roll that stress in real time into showing people that this is like what being part of the AFOL community is about and like folding more of that in. I think
Yeah.
we've done a good job at that. I one thing I will say, and the bigger thing for me this year is like I think we've had things in the past where like you've encouraged me at the last minute to be like, I know you can get it done. You've gotten amazing things done before in the past, but did you notice this year I was not actually able to like just like float on the positive energy. I actually really did not get it done.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that later. Okay, Cody wants to be reminded of the theme for this year. It's "Let's go exploring."
That's it. Thank you. I'm like, I don't know.
Joellen suggests maybe we should catch some people about Brick
Oh
World
yeah.
indie packing discussions.
Yeah, we can take some videos of how they pack and unpack things. We can probably do that at Detroit too. Michelin does a lot of shows, so they probably got
Mhm.
some pretty good ways of doing stuff.
Monica says, "The last Brick World I planned all year, and I built starting in February." Well, I got a jump start because I have a heavy pants mech that's
Yeah.
mostly done, minus his habitat, and I have a new ship.
Well, I think that's my point
Um,
is like February used to be the month that I could start planning, but like February is now the month to start planning for Brick World Indianapolis. So like I need to start
yeah.
like November.
Yeah, well, and I'm still gonna somehow convince you to do Brick World Minneapolis, so
I
we're
know.
still working
And
on that.
we need to do that because we have maybe a competitor brand trying to get into every city we're doing. So we need to get in front of that and start being more aggressive.
Yeah. Maria Glar says yes, and we can all commiserate when we are all panicking at the same time. Yes, that is what happens.
Yeah.
But
I'm
luckily
paying
for
attention
me, I
right
have
now.
a small push at least to get some stuff done in the fact that I do a live stream with the Brick World owner.
Oh, you do?
Yes, and so
Oh,
because
with
of
who?
that, I feel some compulsion to at least have something to show every now and then.
I didn't.
So
Don't feel compelled. I
we were
didn't.
busy. We were busy this week. I didn't get a lot done either. We were at a wedding. Um,
Hmm.
so and September was done, and it takes a little
Good
bit to
Lord,
get your
man.
gears rolling again.
I know.
So
Well, I'll say it again. I said it at the beginning of the stream. It was nice to have my hands on brick again, and like that muscle memory does not die. And so it was exciting. Hold on one second. You talk for a second because someone's shouting down the stairs at me.
yeah. And Real Guy says, "I'm down for a Brick World, Minneapolis, St. Paul." Yes, you are, because that's what we should be doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Let's do
and
it.
yeah, because I'm like, hey, I can fill up like a third of the hall just by myself.
I know.
I mean,
You've
that's
done
not
it.
true, but
You've done it.
well,
Brick World, Kansas City. You
yeah,
literally did
I
it.
did. I did bring a lot of stuff to Brick World, Kansas City. That's true.
So Omega, thank you for asking. I'm not gonna call anyone out or trash people, but I will say what would really help us as a brand is if you just like, post on your social media, talk to your friend groups and like people with kids, families who like the hobby, just let them know there's a difference between brands. Um, and I don't want you to go research all of them, but if you know of a terrible one, just go ahead and elevate Brickworld above them, just in the aspect of asking them to look that there are different brands out there that do this, and they're not associated with Lego, because that's kind of the problem we run into is when there's a bad show out there, people don't know that it's not the show. That they don't know that it's not Brick World. If they went to a Brick World and they went to a competitor brand, they were like, "Oh, Brick World changed." We're like, "No, that was not." They think it's Lego doing these shows because fans support them and fans build amazing things. They think it all comes through the parent company of Lego. It does not. And so I mean, just if you can, in your meantime, I realize we're not all marketing experts, so you don't know necessarily exactly how to do this, but if you can like promote Brickworld, that's the best we can all do. Just like share our posts, like our posts, follow us, uh, smash that like button, hit subscribe, comment on the videos, just like build us up as a brand, and we will get ourselves there through tenacity and having quality over quantity, because some of these other brands are just trying to shove the quantity out there and it's causing a bit of a problem. But yeah, just support us. That's all you can do. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate the question. It's a fine tooth comb. No, it's not. It's a fine line to walk, is what it is, to
Right.
make sure that we're doing the best for our brand and not going out of our way to trash anyone else and keep ourselves successful. And your support means everything to me. So just keep supporting me the way you are right now, and we'll do fine over the infinite horizon. So thank
Well,
you
and I
for
think one of the bigger things for Brick World is we don't just attract the local lug. If you have a really good local lug, some of those other shows can be good. If you
yeah,
have a lot of members and a lot of people who come and a lot of people
true,
who display,
true.
um, if you don't have a strong local lug, some of those shows can be difficult if you're an AFOL. Doesn't mean it's not great for kids. They're usually more expensive. I'll also say that. And they're not as focused on MOCs. One of the things Brickworld does, and I would hope if we had a Brickworld in Minneapolis, we would get builders from Wisconsin and South Dakota and Iowa
Yes,
and Nebraska to come,
agreed.
and that would be good.
Yes.
Um, and that would be a difference, I think.
The thing that
So
helps me the most, if you want Brickworld to come to your city, is like if you've done shows with your lug and you know of a venue that has like a bigger space and have a relationship with them already, introduce me to that person. Send us an email at contact@brickworld.com, along with the contact that you have there. And we'll do our best to work our way into that city. We are working on expanding. We have 2 possible new shows for the next upcoming season. Um, and we really, really want to hear about St. Paul. I believe Ben has been working on looking at venues for us there, because that'd be a great area for us to get into, as he just demonstrated by all the lugs that are central and willing to travel for that area. But the big thing for me is like what we do. We want we want to bring new people into the community, and we want the existing community to be able to expand. So if you have an idea for something that you'd love to do at a show, we'll let you do it. Just request space like you would for Brickworld Chicago. And if you need resources, just like contact us and ask us if those resources are available or if we can provide them. That's what we're about, is like building that community aspect of the shows. So if you have something that would enhance one of our expos, please contact us at brickworld.com and we will let you know if we can make it happen. We're definitely looking to expand. It may be a slow go because it takes a while, but also being steamrolled by some competitors who are just like doing shows wherever they want, whenever they can, because they have like a parent company supporting them. So we'll move a little bit faster. However, we want to make sure that we have the quality before we jump into anything to be able to offer to the public, so that they'll come back and that we can actually grow it as grow the brand in that area and make it successful. R for rambling.
Are you coming to Minneapolis? The answer is hopefully.
Hopefully, but I think Ben and I have talked that St. Paul would probably be the better venue, right? There's a better venue in St. Paul we've talked about.
Yes, but the city's downtowns are 10 miles apart. It's like the same thing.
That's fine.
So, yep. And
I know
Lego
Legacy
Team
Days.
B will keep coming, of course, to Brickworld Chicago. So
As soon as I can get like an international business license and the revenue to be able to rent everything that we normally bring with us, I probably won't go across an ocean, but I want to. I definitely want to. It's not for lack of want. It's for lack of like, realism. R for realism.
R for realism. Well, we've now crossed the 3-hour mark.
I
And
know.
I know
I really wanted to do like a 2-hour stream tonight and like be
we
concise.
can make it happen one of these times.
We don't need
We
to.
can, but we could.
We could. We should aim for that, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And, part of we were an hour in before we even got off topic one. Sometimes that just happens. I think it's easier when we see each other every week and we don't have breaks, right?
That's true. That's true.
That's part of it too.
I was really, really excited to get back on the live stream tonight. I was like looking forward to it all day.
Yeah. So that's where we are.
We have a great outro ready for you guys. We've got all sorts of people who support us, and when they need support, we support them. Brand, is it? Yeah. So take a look at this outro video and do what you can if you can. We're not trying to pressure anybody into helping out our sponsor here, which will be Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids. But if you can, please do. And if you can't, don't worry. There's other things you can do for this brand. Just follow them on Instagram, follow them on Facebook. Send them your love, your positive energy. They can use your help right now. They helped us out a lot this year by being a sponsor in Grand Rapids. They were amazing. And here's kind of the story of what happened to them. And thank you all very much for joining us. And never forget, before you see our outro, that Bob Ross says, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents.
Hey, Brickworld family. A couple of weeks ago, we had our first Brickworld show in Grand Rapids. We would like to thank everyone involved in the show for making it a great success, but we'd specifically like to thank one of our signature sponsors, Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids. Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids had a signature sponsor booth at the entrance to the event hall and did an amazing job greeting all of our guests with positive energy. If you're in the Grand Rapids area and didn't know you had a local Bricks and Minifigs store, I'd say go check them out, but unfortunately, it's not currently possible. In the early morning hours, just after midnight on the first day of Brickworld Grand Rapids, let's call it what it is, a kidnapper van drove through the front window of their brick and mortar store. Look at that. Look, watch this. Okay, this is the moment before the kidnapper van hits their product. Then bam, no pun intended, product is okay, product is smashed. Store is okay. Store is smashed. It's horrifying. Fortunately, it didn't happen during business hours, so there were no employees on the sales floor at the time. So, Brickworld community, Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids can use our help. We've posted a link to a GoFundMe page in the description of this video. We've also posted their Instagram feed so you can follow them and check out some of their in-person and online events. If you're in the Grand Rapids area, they're planning some pop-up store events and even a LEGO fan community event with one of our other sponsors, Archival Brewing. I know the Brick World community has a very giving nature, so if you are able, please help out our friends at Bricks and Minifigs Grand Rapids in their time of need. They're a new business, operating less than a year at this point, and I know they have the mindset to get through this. They still worked Brick World Grand Rapids all weekend, despite the accident at their store, and they'll be back in business in no time, I'm sure. However, the more we can do for them together, the faster that will happen.